No, but listen to, did you hear the press conference of Seleke Kromah, the IG? He did say that this is a highly political case, did he not? So you don't take the partisans' word for it, you take the IG's word for it.
We elect on 85 irresponsible men, what they happen to our country. We elect on 85 irresponsible men to govern this country, not to be very irresponsible.
Please place your left hand on the Bible being held by your wife, and you will kindly raise your right hand, sir, and repeat after me. All standing, please. I, Joseph Newman Boyka Sr.,
no secret now that your friend and former boss will be a candidate in 2029. With all of that you experience, all of that you know, and everything that you see unfolding in the country now, will you support him? Will you be part of the process? Will you give him the support? Do you think he can be a better president?
So why you want to bring political Benin in it now?
Oh, but political you're political man, before you go out, very active.
I plead the fifth again.
Okay. When 2029 come and pass, then you finally leave. Mission is completed. Now, what the rules of engagement? When the war ended, the guy said, the captain, the commander said, mission complete. There wounded out first. All men on board.
So, this riot situation when it comes across it, because many times you notice that
if Charles Taylor is the problem, he will be out of here in the twinkle of an eye. And I say, let well-meaning Liberians come home. If we respect this constitution, a government formed in Accra is a violation of Article 1 of the Constitution. Let them come home. Let that government be formed in Monrovia.
On the broadcast administration, we want to give the government of Liberia an ultimatum of 72 hours to provide a living ballot of the chairman of the Student Unification Party, or else there will be a catastrophic pneumonia in the Republic of Liberia. To arrest the chairman of the Student Unification Party, only because the government feel intimidated about the Vanguard Party advocacies.
The government got capital road, small, big road, all kinds of place. I think the reason Joseph Baka will not do much because the old man, the papa is suffering. The papa loves the country, but he can't make it. The criminal there around him, they sophisticated than him. They are sophisticated criminals, so they can't make it.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Small road, big road, capital road. Smallest road, capital, big road. And if you are a well-meaning Liberian, according to Gangi Taylor, come on home. A government formed outside the jurisdiction of the Republic of Liberia is a violation of the Constitution, according to Charles Gangi Taylor. He didn't say all Liberians should come home to build the country, and I agree with him. He says the caveat in his statement is all well-meaning Liberians should come home. He didn't say all Liberians because some Liberians do not mean well for the country. They do not mean well for our people. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Jerome Gayman. The Bassa Boy is here. Today is Thursday, the 4th of December. You are over the hump. By tomorrow, we will begin the weekend. For some of you in the Monrovia area, in Bassa, Buchanan in particular, you love to party. Some of you, your weekend started today. Less productivity, and more jolly. So the country is not productive at all. You spend more time on the beaches, in the bars, in the clubs, while you input everything, but that's for another day. Today, my monologue is twofold. One is a subject of birth control or family planning. It caught my attention as I was doing some research and reading and listening to the National Public Radio, the BBC, and listening to the world press. It dawned upon me, while Liberians are complaining that we have been taken over or are continuing to be taken over by foreign nationals. Lately, the Burkinabes, the Ghanaians, the Nigerians are taking over the Republic of Liberia. About a month ago, I listened to Congressman Chris Smith when he said, without a doubt, Liberia does not need family planning. Liberia does not need birth control. Liberia needs health care. Liberia needs prenatal care. Liberia needs our women to be healthy, not to suppress our growth. And sometimes you wonder, how come this Republic of Liberia for almost 205 years, we have the slowest growth in the entire West Africa, I want to say. I stand to be corrected. The population of the smallest country over there is Sierra Leone. I think they're approaching 9 million. Guinea is way ahead of us. Forget about the Ivory Coast. Why is it that Liberia has been stagnant in our population growth? We need to look at governance, public policy. Abortion, birth control has suppressed the growth of the Republic of Liberia. I agree with Chris Smith. Liberia does not need any more birth control. Liberian women need to be supported. Prenatal care, maybe. The attempt to suppress the birth rate in Liberia has now come to the detriment of the Liberian people. Sooner than later, there will be more foreign people in Grand Gita than Grand Gitians. Sooner than later, there will be more foreigners in River G than folks from River G. Sooner than later, there will be more people in Grand Cru that have international link than the citizens of Grand Cru. Sooner or later, there will be more people from the Republic of the Ivory Coast and Togo in Maryland County than people from Maryland County. It's about time that we stood up and said the truth. Family planning and birth control is killing us. I am not a scientist, but I know when I was in grade school, we understand something called osmosis. Matter or water will transmit or travel where there is space. The Guineans are coming across the border in droves, invading Bapulu, Lofa County, parts of Nimba. Go to the Republic of Grand Bassa County. Our population has stagnated. It's about time that we talk about public policy to reverse our growth rate. A country that has a border from border to border, approximately 43,000 square miles. Barely 5 million folks, generously. I mean, people who did the census, they are very generous to say we even 5 million. You want to know how sparsely populated Liberia is? Go from the airport to Grand Bassa County, between the airport and Buchanan City. Liberia does not need family planning. Liberia does not need birth control. Liberia needs prenatal care. Liberia needs education. I was perusing the newspapers, and the Daily Observer has this. RWVE demand major boost in family planning budget. Musu W. David, Executive Director of RWYE, addressing the media on the urgent need for increased family planning funding in Liberia. The Executive Director of the Initiative for Women and Youth Empowerment, Musu W. Davis, has renewed calls for the Liberian government to substantially increase the family planning budget in the Ministry of Health, warning that the current funding is insufficient to address the escalating teenage pregnancy crisis across the country. Madam Davis, I don't know who you are, and I do not know what is your qualification. You should be talking something other than birth control and family planning. If you do not address our education system, if you do not address our employment for the young folks, it doesn't matter what you do. When people are idle, when they have nothing to do, when people are depressed, sex becomes a recreation activity, and you know what happens. When there's no electricity, there's no running water, there's no movies, there's no entertainment, so sex becomes an entertainment. The more sex you have, the more chances you have to be pregnant. So, Madam Davis, I don't know what your background is, but you need to do some more research on why people get pregnant and how people need to get work. People who are busy working do not make babies. If you have a job, if you are a young person that comes from school to an after-school program or after-hour work, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, your chances of going home and having baby is almost zero. Like the old folks said, they said, an idle mind is the devil's workshop. You find the young man, the young girl at home doing absolutely nothing. So what do you think they're going to do? So Marlon Davis, your advocacy should be, how do we create jobs for young folks to be busy instead of giving them birth control? You are one of those who are living at the expense of the poor. As long as the NGOs and the international communities are putting money into your coffers to buy birth control pills, to pass them out, you have no issue. How it affects women. In the long term, in the short term, health-wise, as long as your budget is increased, you care less. In the meantime, you are suppressing the Basa people's growth. You are suppressing our Mandingo people's growth. You are suppressing the Gola people's growth. You are suppressing the Va people's growth. You are suppressing the Gil people's growth. You are suppressing the Mano people's growth. You are suppressing the Grebo people's growth. The Crown people's growth. And all you see at on the front pages of paper are people invading Grand Gita, the Sapo National Forest. There are more Burkinabes flooding into these counties because there are more opportunities and there's space. So the Burkinabes and the Malians, they are crossing over and filling those spaces. And as they are coming, they are settling, they are young, and they are having children of their own. And they are sending for their cousins. Lofa County is about to be invaded by the neighbors from Guinea. Bapulu, Cape Mount is being invaded by our brothers and cousins from Sierra Leone. They walk right across the Mana River because your population is so small and shrinking. As big as Grand Bassa County is, as huge as we have the land mass, has a very small population. And the Bassa population is getting older as they are dying out. Our birth rate is declining. Our birth rate is being helped to be suppressed by birth control. We're being helped to suppress our own growth. And you want to blame the Fulanese, the Indians, the Lebanese for taking over your economy. Sooner or later, some of these tribes will be extinct or almost extinct. The influx of foreign nationals into the Republic of Liberia. Madam Davis made an appeal as the legislature debated the expenditure component of the 2026 national budget. While commending previous increases to the budget from 50,000 to 75,000, she dismissed the amount as peanuts that fails to meet the urgent needs of young women and girls in rural and underserved communities. Go and visit Bone County, for example, she says. The rising number of teenage pregnancies have overwhelmed healthcare workers. We need a government to support things that are of priority or essential to the future of this country, Madam Davis said. Not this peanut of allotment. The future lies in these young girls who continue to fall prey to teenage pregnancy, dropping out of school in their numbers. Highlighting the severe consequences of limited access to contraceptive. There you go again. She explained that unplanned pregnancies among teenage and young women are increasing daily, especially in rural areas. Across this country, the phrase pregnant women have now changed to pregnant girls. Why? Most of the people you see running to health centers are girls between the ages of 13 and 14. Does anyone think this is normal? Hell no, she says. Madam Davis also raised concerns over the impact of recent funding cuts by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, noting that Liberia is among the most vulnerable nations affected. We are losing an estimated $290 million that was used to support crucial sectors such as health and education. Health facilities are experiencing severe shortages of medicines and supplies. Healthcare workers are becoming unpaid and unmotivated, causing essential programs to collapse. And several rural facilities have closed and closing. The gravity of the crisis is reflected in local health data. A recent report indicated that 75% of births recorded at the Fuekwele maternal waiting home in Bone County were by girls aged 14 and 17 years. Meanwhile, CB Dunbar and Phoebe Hospital recorded 3,592 teenage pregnancies between 2022 and 2024. Health sectors warn of a looming collapse in rural communities' health services if decisive action is not taken. These numbers reflect a full-blown national emergency tied directly to limited access to contraceptive. There you go again, birth control. High unmet female pregnancy needs, 33% among women, and even higher among young girls and teenagers. And the lack of education due to school dropout, Madam Davis said. She called on lawmakers and government officials to respond decisively during the ongoing debate hearing. Visit rural community health centers and see how high and alarming this is. Health workers are not impaired by low wages, lack of support, and poor infrastructure. Do we sit and do nothing? We must speak and engage the government responsibly. Liberia is all we have, she said. Notice that she is not advocating for girls' after-school program, vocational training, after-school programs, vacation job for girls, things that children do between the hours of 2 and 7 p.m. She's not citing those data. She's talking about birth control and abortion and all of those things that suppress our growth. Marlon Davis, I know you have a job to keep. I am glad that USAID decided to drop funding abortion and birth control. Our government needs to do more for our girls by educating them, keeping them busy, but not suppressing our birth rates. Liberia, compared to Sierra Leone, compared to Guinea, compared to the Ivory Coast, compared to Ghana, we are regressing. We have a decline in population growth since 1822 to 1847 to 2025. Total population 5 million. When you look at Guinea, you look at Sierra Leone, forget about the Ivory Coast, forget about Ghana. Why? Because we are spending more money on abortion and birth control than we are encouraging young women and men to be productive citizens of our nation. So Madam Davis and her cohorts, their job is to sound on the line of, like she said, national emergency. The teenage pregnancy has become a national security issue. Since when? Join me, let's start a new movement. Let's reduce abortion in the Republic of Liberia and increase our population. Native Liberians are being overwhelmed by foreigners. You just don't have the numbers. And if it continues, Native Liberians are soon to be in a minority in their own country. Now that is the real national issue. That is the real national security issue. That is what we call a threat to our nation. These are uncomfortable truths. But we must look the bulls in the eye and eat it. Why has Liberia been stagnated over the years, centuries? I know if you call the Ministry of Health, you call the Liberian government, there is no shortages of data. They will come out here and read all kinds of data to you. But as you go into different counties, you hear the people are murmuring. They are being taken over by foreign nationals. So much so that the folks in Grand Judah and in Nima and in Grand Crew, River G, Maryland County, they are now battering with the foreigners for land. I gave you land, you live here, whatever crop You grow, we will share it. So the Burkinabes are flocking into the country as sharecroppers. You bring in 10, by the time you turn around, they bring you another 10, and now they're overwhelming you. And now you have to compete for resources in your own home. You've been hearing about the armed conflicts and fighting in Grand Judea, in the Sapo forest and in River G. Everywhere you go, the foreigners are there making farm, growing coffees and cocoa. Sooner or later, Liberia has very poor record keeping. The folks come in, the next thing politicians approach them, sign them up, and they become their constituents as long as they provide votes. Who's Liberian, who's not Liberian, they don't care. To their own detriment, as long as you vote for me. I'm from River G, you vote for me, I won't be in River G anyway, so it doesn't bother me. I come to River G once a year or twice, come every day when it's time for elections, round up as many people as I can, truck as many people as I can. After the election, you won't see me, you won't see the senator for maybe another 9 years or another 6 years. They don't care. Because you have a very low birth rates in these areas. Instead of addressing the core issue, Madam Davis is saying we should suppress the birth rate even further. I was listening to a sociologist who said there are two kinds of folks in America, but really what he was saying could be applied to what's going on in Liberia. He says those who come from Africa in particular, when they come to the United States, when they come to these United States, they are lacking one thing, and that is competence. But one thing they have in abundance is self-esteem and confidence in themselves. Competence means when they get here, they don't know how to drive, they don't know how to navigate the system. Sooner or later, they will learn how to drive, they will learn how to navigate the system. Their self-esteem is so high that they believe they can do anything. They begin as a doorman at the hotel, they're a cab driver, the Uber driver. The next thing you know, they own the Uber. They bring their cousins and they own a fleet of Ubers. The next thing you know, they are employing citizens of this country. He said on the flip side, African Americans are very high on competence because they grew up in the system. He said, but their self-esteem is very low because they never had that family structure that Africans have. You grew up with your mom and your pop and your culture and your tradition, which they didn't have. So which one do you prefer? Do you prefer to have high self-esteem with cultural values steeped in your system, or competence that is temporary? He says he will choose self-esteem any day over competence. Competence can be learned in a very short time. So here we are. When the foreigners come to Liberia, they come with two things that we don't have. They see an opportunity to do well. Some come with their family values and the resources. The Fulaga comes. He borrows money from his nephew, from his friend, from his cousin. He begins to shine shoes, sell belts. The next thing you know, he opens an attire shop. By the time you turn around, he got 2 shops. And he marries a Liberian and have children and becomes a citizen. And he multiplies. On the other hand, a Liberian born in a republic with no resources, stagnation. Government is poor, the economy is poor, the Liberian has nowhere to get loan, so he becomes a slave in his own country. He lives at the mercy of the Lebanese. He or she lives at the mercy of the Indians. He lives at the mercy of the Fulanese. Instead of increasing our lot, Miss Davis and her cohorts want to help to suppress our population growth by the continual use of birth control and abortion. She's asking for more money. Liberia, we need to think. We need to rethink our lifestyle, our sociology, our sociological imagination. Let me stop the preaching there. Let me go to the Republic of Grand Bassa. I woke up 2 days ago to the news of people finding black oil seeping from the ground in Grand Bassa County. And the folks are rejoicing that finally a county like Grand Bassa with a small population with the possibility of crude oil. Is it going to be a blessing or a curse? First time in my lifetime did I know or get to know how many people claim now that they are from Grand Bassa County. I am seeing Senegalese, Guineans, Ghanaians, Malian, Ivorian, calling themselves now Bassa people. Today I saw something from the great Sam Jackson. He says, y'all used to joke that we sold our land. Who's laughing now? We are not going to sell our oil to you or give it to you for nothing. It's not going to happen anymore. We have learned from your jokes. God has endowed the Bassa people. God has blessed us. So those of you who are laughing at the Bassa people for selling the land after you came homeless, we allow you to be a squatter in our country. After you got on your feet, you started joking and laughing, making mockery of the Bassa people. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to be Bassa. Everybody is now pointing to the initial in the name. Oh, this name UJ. That's my Bassa name because I was born in Bassa. People who call transitional Bassa, people who were going through because of the war. You stop in the Bassa, people gave you a place to sleep and a food to eat. After cursing them, just because your child was born there on your way to Nimba or Bong or Cape Mount, now all of a sudden you're coming back to claim that you are a Bassa man or Bassa woman. Nope. We know you. Like the scripture said, by their fruit ye should know them. Don't adopt or claim Bassa only when it's convenient. We are Bassa people. We are very generous. We are accommodating. When you enter Grand Bassa County, it says, welcome to the home or land of hospitality. We welcome all. So my Bassa brothers and sisters, relax. The onus is now on us. Are you going to hold your leaders accountable? Or are you going to sit back now and blame the foreigners for coming and taking over what belongs to you? Yesterday, I think it was Dr. Peabody that says, if your Christmas is going to be good, you will know it by the eve. Holding on to that logic, though, if how they have treated the Bassa people for the past 200 years, if it's any evidence of anything to come, I feel sorry for the Bassa people because you have been poorly represented. Look at the Bassa Legislative Caucus. They can't agree on anything except their salaries and their perks. Anything that has to do with the interests of the Bassa people, I feel sorry for you. If you depend on the Bassa Legislative Caucus, I have lived the eve of Christmas. I have seen it. From what I see, it tells me that my Christmas will not be good. The second capital of the Republic of Liberia has no running water. It has no electricity. It has nothing. I will quote our friend and brother, Honorable Gongloe. Bassa specializes in at least go on the air in Liberia, go to Buchanan or any of the television radio stations and discuss your disgust. Attempt to advocate for the poor. They are so accustomed to being poor and mistreated that even the poor will come on and attack you for attacking their oppressors. The Bassa people suffer from the Stockholm syndrome. Councillor Gongloe called it the allistism. They will tell you, when CDC was here, they did it at least. This government have made some promises. At least they have not done much, but they said they will do something, at least. That's why Gongloe was saying Liberia suffer from elitism. You talk about healthcare and they will come on your post and attack you and say, you cannot say anything. Their name would be Senate Pro Tem son. Or Joe, we are cousin. That's the kind of name they carry. They call them cyber security or cyber defense force or whatever they call themselves. Anything that will defend their oppressors. Senator Finley has his defenders and they will do anything. Yobli Kanga has a whole brigade of those folks and so on. If you demand more as a Basayan, they will come after you. The second county, the second capital is dark, gloomy. You get to Grand Bassa County, if you come from another country, like if you come from Accra or Abidjan or even Sierra Leone, Freetown, and you get into the Republic of Bassa, you will feel depressed. Terrible representation. Now we have oil and everybody wants to claim Grand Bassa as their place of birth or their ancestral land. Is this the beginning of a curse or the beginning of a blessing? Based on what I have experienced in my life and what the folks I have experienced and continue to experience, Christmas is not going to be good. We have had lack. The Liberian Agricultural Company in Bassa for years, for decades, since the 1950s. The road from Buchanan to Lac, which is about 17 miles, is a killer. It's a death trap. Has never been maintained, has never been paved. But they are extracting rubber, taking over our land on a daily basis. And we get peanuts in return. Our lawmakers cannot ask LAC to pave that 17-mile stretch of road that has become a death trap. This is the thinking of your leaders in Grand Bassa County. The leadership in Grand Bassa is so terrible that the Bassa High School that was built in 1925 has been overcome, and children are now separated into Section A, Section B, and night school. That beautiful building called Bassa High School was built in 1925. That tells you that those who were living during those days, 100 years ago, they were even far ahead of themselves. We cannot even match them in thinking, in progress, in thoughts. So much so, let's go to what's happening daily in the Republic of Liberia. They said the World Bank and Liberia launched 2025-2030 partnership framework with job at its core. Have we heard this before? Have you seen this movie before? Do you know how it's going to end? I am sure you do. Every day they come up with their big books, wearing the expensive Armani suits, And they had a news conference with these beautifully written proposals. And we stand and clap for each other, eat. And we come back 5 years later with more beautifully written news. And it reads, the government of Liberia and the World Bank Group have introduced a new 5-year country partnership framework, CPF, that emphasizes job creation as a core focus of the nation's development agenda, demonstrating a stronger commitment to economic transformation, human capital development, and private sector growth. Like I said, we have read this before, we have seen this movie before, we know exactly how it's going to end. Beautifully written stuff. And the lineup looking beautiful. Beautiful photo ops. You see the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, the most incompetent finance minister, Garguah, with his stomach now sticking out. You see what he looks like. And then we have another man, I think he might be maybe close to 100 years old. His name is Conant, represent the president. He himself, in his 80s or 90s, consider himself as the future of the country. Can you imagine? The framework we covered 25 to 2030 was unveiled at the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Ministerial Complex in Congo Town during a ceremony attended by senior government officials, development partners, civil society leaders, the private sector, and youth representatives. Designed to support Liberia's goals of creating more jobs and better jobs, the CPF focuses on investing in human capital, expanding energy access, implementing governance reform, and fostering private sector growth, with special emphasis on agro-industry and forestry as the route to sustainable economic development, whatever that means. The World Bank Liberia country manager, Georgia Welling, described the new CPF as a crucial moment for the country. She said the framework is centered on a single key, job creation. She said this will collectively shift Liberia's ability to generate employment at a larger scale. She also emphasized that the framework closely aligned with the Walker administration arrest agenda for inclusive development, which prioritizes infrastructure, public sector reform, agriculture, and human capital. The IFC Division Director Nathaniel Kausi Akon said the CPF launch demonstrates Liberia's readiness to translate economic potential into measurable outcomes. This is more than an event, she said. It is a signal that Liberia is ready to convert national ambition into tangible results for its people. Akon emphasized the vital role of the private sector in creating jobs, pointing out that nearly 90% of jobs across Africa come from the private enterprises. She stated that the CPF is designed to increase opportunities for young people, women, and small businesses through improved market conditions, targeted investment, and better access to finance. Speaking on behalf of President Joseph Boakai, Senior Presidential Advisor Dr. Augustine Conant welcomed the CPF as a renewed and practical commitment to nation progress. Liberia is ready to build, ready to rise, and ready to lead its people into the future of prosperity. Dr. Conant, who is himself octogenarian, is Genturian say here that he is leading Liberia into the future. He warned that rising youth unemployment remains one of Liberia's most urgent national challenges. According to him, the government expects every development intervention to showcase job creation. Every project we launch might answer one question: how many jobs will you be creating for Liberians, especially our young people, he said. Finance and Development Planning Minister Augustin Gamfuan praised the World Bank for remaining a steadfast partner during a period of global uncertainty. Gamfuan emphasized the expanding energy access and improving infrastructure are vital for the attraction of investment and supporting private sector growth. Affordable and accessible energy is the engine of the private sector, he said, adding that Liberia plans to significantly increase national electricity access in the next 5 years. He also emphasized the need for faster project execution, noting that some donor-supported programs have experienced delays lasting several years. Big numbers must translate into big impact, he says. UNDP resident representative Aliu Mamadou Dia commended the CPF for closely aligning with the government priorities and upcoming UN cooperation framework. The partnership can make a defining difference in governance, human capital, and economic transformation, he said. This is why some of us are critical. If the Minister of Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Gamfuan, knows that these issues are critical to the funding and the success of the nation, how come it is not reflected in his budget? Like they used to say in Liberia, no one's stupid here. The folks from some part of Liberia have their parable. They say dry dog is sweet. But why would I be eating? Why we dry this dog? The finance minister is talking about 5 years from now. What are we going to be doing from now until that 5 year gets here? If your government has only 3 more years in power, why make a 5 years plan? Why not 1 year plan, 2 years plan, so the folks can see and measure your success? We are not stupid here. This is what the closing argument is here. This platform is made of thinkers who will read and analyze the issues. You cannot fool us anymore by coming up with these flowery speeches. That you have a development packet that will create jobs and the lives of the people will improve. But then at the end, you say within 5 years, 2029 to 2030. So you are giving up the dry dog that you say we should wait for it because dry dog sweet. We agree with you because you've been there. But why will we be eating while we dry this dog? What am I going to tell my nephews, my cousins, and my nieces that are in school in the Republic of Liberia, our Stars College, doing some technical stuff? Our mother patterns, the nursing school. They are graduating within the next 12 to 24 months. That's within a year or so they will be getting out. What would they be doing until 2030? Let me welcome Johnny. Johnny, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Gayman. Let me welcome and appreciate all our viewers and listeners from wherever they are. We honor and respect them because it is because they are where they are and following this show. That's why we make our duty to come on this show and share our idea and knowledge with regards to moving Liberia forward. And let me also appreciate you, Mr. Gilman, for always being there on time, starting this show. I was driving home and listening to you on the radio on Truth FM. Let me appreciate Truth FM for also being there to air this program. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. I love interacting with you because you are a critical thinker, you are a sociologist, you are an anthropologist, all into one. So the reason that I love people who do social thinking. And I have a book here that I have to share with you during my undergraduate days. And it's called The Four Sociological Traditions of Sociology. This is a classic. And those who have done the classics, and I'm sorry to say if you did sociology in Liberia, kudos to you, but the classics, if you sat under a professor at the University of Chicago, and you look at the traditions that we are talking about, the conflict tradition, he talks about it all the time. Under that, we're talking about the class struggle, materialism and the theory of ideology. Then we talk about the class basis of politics and revolution, the origins of modern capitalism. And we talk about the theory of inequality and social stratification. How come we are poor, rich, middle class, lower class? How do we derive at those terminology? We'll talk about those. But this is why I like to interact with Johnny, because Johnny breaks it down. But Johnny, this is where we are. We began with this thing about birth control and abortion in our country, and the correlation between birth control, abortion, and population decline. And this big revolution in Liberia that every country is now being taken over by foreign nationals, from Burkina Faso to the Ivory Coast to Ghana to Nigeria. They are taking, and we are becoming minorities in our own home because we have a decline in population. We are spending more money on birth control and abortion than we are doing with maternal care. So what the congressman was saying, Liberia does not need money in birth control. Liberia needs money in education, in opportunity for young folks. So here we are today. If this trend continues, River G is going to be overtaken by foreigners. People from River G will be minority in their own county. Likewise, Maryland County, Grand Cru. You see the fight in Grand Nigeria. The Burkina Faso have taken over the forests. So we are talking about national security issue. Why are these women appealing for more money into birth control than they are about educating girls, after school program, tutorial services, things we talk about like home economics, things that improve the lives of young folks? The devil, the folks say, the idle mind is the devil's workshop. When the kids got nothing to do, sex have become a recreation. And where you have young boys and young girls doing absolutely nothing but just looking at each other, you have a recipe for having teenage pregnancy. What is so difficult for the folks in Liberia to discern? Your take on this?
Thank you, Mr. Gilman. I really appreciate the book that you just talked about, the 4 traditional classics or classical theories. I hope anyone who is coming from the US, you can share that book with me.
Definitely.
Yeah, I would like to have a copy of that. But I think the issue, like the question you asked with regards to Liberia, and I think that congressman is 100% correct. Do we have population explosion problem? No. right? We don't have no issue population explosion. Nigeria is almost how many million people in Nigeria?
250 million.
15 million people. And they still giving birth.
215.
215. That's just, that is by just by, if you do real manual counting, if you say every chief in a town should help count people, they will pass that number.
They will pass that number. Those they could actually count 250 million.
Through applying all the technological skill, but if you say, no, let's do manual counting of human beings, to say every town chief, every community leader must count every person in your town and give a report, you have an accurate number of people in our country, maybe almost 300 million people. I'm just saying to you, we don't have issue with population explosion in Liberia. What we have issue with is ignorance. That is our major social problem here, ignorance. And that is why I would make reference to this study that's going across Africa that say Liberia is the country with the lowest IQ on the continent, followed by Sierra Leone. So if we are serious, we should be emphasizing on building the capacity of our young population. The young people are roaming the streets doing nothing particularly because there's nothing going on. Like, our communities know you talking about Grand Bassa, only high school built by the Republic of Liberia since 1925. And I told you already on the show, I said, if that's the only public high school in Buchanan that was built since 1925, and today we are 100, a century ago, our great-grandparents that were in Grand Bassa had more generational thought than today's leaders. They were thinking about today when they built our school. Because if today our school can still accommodate population in Bassa for half a school, and I guess by then, they didn't have a population that could even fill the classrooms. Oh. But the better school, the rooms were bigger, they created more space because they were thinking about 20 years after today, 30 years after today. So today we are here and we still resting and relying on what was built in 1925. Then who are we today? Then who are we to sit and condemn the days of Torgbean, Barclay, and everybody else? Who are we to condemn them? How can we condemn Tomalin, and rest of the people when what they built for us in the 60s and 70s is today our major source of survival today? Torgbean High in Sinko, the only public high school in the whole Sinko Black. Nothing on Oro, nothing Congo Town. The whole Sinko combined with Oro and Congo Town, Torgbean High. Even if you go to Bushwa Island, Bosweha, D12, all those areas have populated, have grown, population has increased. And today, population of 5.2 people, they having interest in birth control. I don't think we should be spending time discussing birth control. We should be spending time on maintaining what we have and educating them, empowering them, creating jobs for them, and giving them dignity in life. Dignifying our people in the country. To the extent that, Mr. Gayman, people come from poor country, they come here, we see them as better than us. Because we don't know God, we don't know who guy in the country. You see a man from Egypt, he passing around in Monrovia, where all countries passing around selling things. People come from other places passing around selling because they have different quality of things, they are better than us. We are better than most people in the world. I've been telling about Liberia, we are by far better than any China that we can run to. If we decide to put our eyes together, build the capacity of our young people, we educate them, we get in the requisite education, requisite medical attention. Two things we got to do in the country: improve our education, improve our health system. We need a sound population and a healthy population. Once you have a sound population and a healthy population, everything else will come. Everything else you want, whether you want to build a road, you want to build a skyscraper, once the people in the country are properly educated and they got better facility for health, go back. Like, let's go back in Liberia in the 40s and 50s. We didn't have good roads. We had good schools, good hospitals. My father went to school in Bolahun, Holy Cross Mission, way back. That was in the 60s and 70s. And he told me the first time he saw a vehicle, that when they brought a vehicle for the priest in Bolahun and he came away of Sierra Leone, the first time in their whole life in that part of Liberia to see a vehicle. You understand? And he said he remember once to walk almost like 2 days to go and see the yellow machine building the road. The first time to lay out. But even though they were the first time, but they were in good school. They were in Holy Cross Mission School in Bolahon. They were learning. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you that if we put emphasis on education and health, our people are educated, they understand their health condition, they are healthy, everything else will come. But if you build all these things around here, and you have an illiterate and ignorant society, it will be for those who come from outside who are exposed. They are the ones coming to benefit from it. So we need to rethink about how we drive our development agenda, and we should know what will be our priority. And we see around us, most countries that are today moving, making progress, there are two areas they focus on was education and health, followed by agriculture to have food security. When people are self-sufficient in food, they don't have to beg for food. They don't have to go stand and be looking in the sea. You know, look at the irony, Mr. Gayman. No rice to control. They ever go stand to the pole, looking to the pole for rice, looking at the sea. The sea got land, it got forest to grow rice. You understand? Whereas we should be looking back into Lofa, Bong, Nimba, Maryland, Grand Jide, Grand Bassa, to use the land to grow food and feed ourselves. Mr. Gayman, I don't understand. Most people believe in the Christian doctrine. And we go to the Christian doctrine, the Bible, it tells you God gave man dominion over the earth. So for us Liberians, God gave all Liberia dominion over Liberia to live our life on the soil He gave us Liberia. Then we live here and look into the sea to bring rice from India, Pakistan to feed us, to bring chicken from India, Pakistan to feed us, eggs and tea. Then are we ready to make Liberia a place where our citizens will be dignified and respected by other people? We have to be deliberate and intentional about this country, Mr. Gayman. We have to. If we don't do that for this country, we keep dragging. And I will always say our past leaders were generational thinkers. To the extent that some things they built, we still relying on it yet. We stay depending on. We don't even talk about improving. Tomalin is so much built in a way that to even maintain it today by our government is difficult. And then government from Madam time to today to Bishop Weah time today to even maintain Tomalin, to bring it up to pre-war status what it was. Those who want to those who want to Tomalin, I will tell you what it was in the 60s and 70s. I've got some old people I said that all the time on 17th Street having conversation. They are all Tomalin graduates. They tell us what Tomalin was in the 60s and 70s. What it was. So today, if Tomalin cannot match 60s and 70s, then are we making progress? Let's first see if we can even beat the people that were in the 70s and 60s. Let's beat the system. Then we can start moving towards today modernity. But without making that kind of progress, Mr. Gayman, then we just around here passing around, being wearing baby kosu in the country. And you see the kind of car or people around the country is like the whole country is already wetted. And everybody see the kind of car in the street. So now I see some car in the street. I can wonder, can you imagine in this poor country, 2024, 2025 model of cars are in the country. A poor country where our economy is not strong enough to even take care of our health and educational system. But see cars that are ridden by public officials. Some of the cars are worth 100,000, some of the cars worth 80,000, 90,000, paid for by taxpayer money. Vehicle that can crash anytime. Not investment at all. Anytime it can crash, you will pack it and go buy a new one. We're not investing in. JFK is there.
JFK is something you have.
Mr. Gayman, I appreciate our Liberian doctors and nurses that are working in all the public health sectors. I appreciate them. I honor them. They are the heroes of the country. They are the ones who be honored every year because I've experienced what they go through. To the extent that during the Ebola crisis in 2013, 2014, when I was working with health workers in the various counties and districts to help create awareness around preventive measures against Ebola and how to even report any kind of health system, to follow all the regulations that were being applied to protect and prevent Ebola from affecting our communities. That's when I saw, the true patriotism and nationalism of Liberians who are doing health work. Because Mr. Gayman, I went to some places, you see young men and women somewhere, you won't be like young people that will agree to take assignment into a place where you have no link to your family, no link to your friends. You are discommunicated through no telephone network. Secondly, you don't have any public transport there. You are in the jungle, in the real forest, where you're there providing health services for people in those places. Then we sit down in Morovia and make fabulous, salary structures, allowances, all kind of every day you go to Boulevard Hotel, Royal Hotel, Boulevard Palace. People are there gathering there for all kind of meetings and just spending state money when people who are struggling to celebrate people cannot even get small money to save. How can you work? You can't save money. How can you work? You can't even save 10% of your salary. You try by all means to just manage it. You cannot stay safe. You understand? Our teachers in this country have been to places where I was telling you already, teachers who are sacrificing to impart knowledge in our young tomorrow generation, tomorrow leaders. Today's leaders don't care for them. They don't care for those. They don't care about those who are providing knowledge and building the young people capacity for tomorrow leadership. If you say you care for tomorrow, just today will tell that you care for tomorrow. The way you treat us today, we know you care for tomorrow. And those people in the health sector, those people in the education sector, are the ones that we should be worried about with regards to our tomorrow. Because if we don't have health system better, how can we have a best health? How can we have a healthy population for the future? If we don't have a good education system, you don't pay teachers, you don't train them, you don't give them requisite knowledge and skills to have to share and to give to the young people. How can we have a better Liberia or a better future for tomorrow for Liberia? How can we? Even our security, the third group is our securities. Who's managing our securities? I mean, if you come over in Liberia as a whole, you interact with security personnel, police, DEA, immigration, fire service, whatever government security agency, you interact with them in the country around. You sorry for them, the way they are treated, the way they are. I mean, they are taken care of. Look, I went to the border post in Maryland, around the place called Kehleboe, going towards Cote d'Ivoire to Taboué. I mean, not Tabou to, yeah, the rep from Maryland, from Harper going there, that road is paved there. I think we'll pay to him and later. I went to that place, Mr. Gayman. I felt insulted. The structures built by our government for our border officers, security officers, cost of them to use. And you look across the border, what Cote d'Ivoire has, Mr. Gayman, you feel like you are not anybody. You're like your country doesn't want to be independent. I mean, and then the guys allow us to get on the ferry. We cross over in Cote d'Ivoire and walking around and just looking and observing what Cote d'Ivoire government is providing for the servicemen at the border. And those guys are saying the government doing well for them. But what we have across on our side for our officers, and we will say, well, those guys up there, they got better services. They are in good homes. They have electricity applied to them. But that breaks up. I saw Dopoh. I said the Western left and they have changed it. I mean, like you put the sticks in the ground, you plow it with rope, and you dump it like a village house. That's where I saw at the border where our personnel, military, whether security, whether police or immigration, whatever personnel, that's what they are using to work from. So imagine somebody come to Liberia, their first contact to the country entry point, they see field, they see low quality. How do you see Liberia to be? How do we protect? So where is our patriotism? Where our nationalistic feeling when we are leaders for the country? We don't give the country dignity, but it's public appearances, public assets to people. Our border points, our entry point to the border around the country look so different. You understand? Right to look back to see what we have there as our border entry point, and look across the border, what we have there for the Ivorians. That's been there for more than 20, 30 years. But we're making budgets that only to satisfy us as leaders. We don't even care about the environment in which our people work. So, I mean, I hope that, our time on this radio, on this show, we will discuss the issue with no malice, with no bad feeling, with no condemnation, but our people will listen and they will take you from here and see how they can just improve on what they should be doing for this country. And we are hoping that the current budget that was sent to them as a draft by the president, the legislature, as the people's deputy, will review it in the best interest of the Liberian people. Because we believe as it is, it doesn't celebrate people at all. As it is, as it is currently structured at 1.2 billion, I don't see how much of that money goes to the actual Liberians to benefit from that. I'm not saying people in salary or pay people, I mean people individual, but services provided to people. I don't see that. You imagine it were to reduce, if it were to use, 60% of that money on actual services within the community. You don't have in the country, you'll be doing very much well, very, very well.
But let me hold you there. Liberia is a very interesting place. Johnny, I want you to look at this photo if you come back. This is very, very interesting. Look at this photo.
What is that?
It says here, there's something wrong with the Republic. It says here that Liberian lawmaker Bernard DJ Blue Benson threatens to invoke juju over the proposed salary cut if anybody attempts to reduce his salary. He brought his witchcraft, he brought his everything, and he said, Capitol Hill Monroe, long stretch debate over the salary cut of lawmakers is trenching in a different twist. As a well-known lawmaker from Monterey County, District 17, Representative Bernard Benson, alias DJ Blue, expressing opposition to the proposal. At one celebrated disc jockey, Representative Bernard Blue, had threatened to invoke juju if anyone ever dares to reduce his salary as proposed. The District 17 lawmaker threat comes on the heels of the latest deliberation on the floor of the Liberian Senate regarding the bill that intends to reduce their monthly earning from $8,000 to $5,000. The bill, an act fixing the monthly remuneration of the Liberian legislature, was originally introduced by Monterey County Senator Dara Dillon during the 54th legislative structure in 2020, and now it has resurfaced in the 55th legislature. Representative Bernard Blue, while expressing opposition to Senator Dillon's proposal in its entirety, made a Facebook post in which he issued a threat of sending Goa if the bill were to pass. Anybody who cut my salary, I'm sending Goa. Period. DJ Bernard threatening. Here in Liberia, Goa is a type of spiritual or supernatural ailment that causes swollenness of the leg, throat, or some of the body parts. It is not a medical diagnosis in Western medicine, but an illness concept rooted in cultural explanations of disease. His posts were widely circulated on social media, especially on Facebook, with several users of the platform expressing mixed review. Majority expressing disappointment with his position on the debate. Johnny, if you keep talking about what you're talking about, Bernard Blue is going to send you Goa.
No way, man.
This is what we are talking about when we say the downside of democracy. If illiterate people will elect people who sounds like them, that talks like them, that walk like them. They will elect one of their own. And this is the result of DJ Bernard Blue, who is saying, a man who was making zero went from making zero to making $8,000 a month. He is the one threatening folks that if you cut his salary, you will get Goa. He will send you Goa. This is how low we have gotten on the international scene. People are laughing that a lawmaker will sit in the chamber and threaten lawmakers that if his salary is touched, he got names and addresses and everything else, and he will send them Goa. My friend, I don't know Every time you read the news in Liberia, you feel discouraged. You think it couldn't get worse. Then it just keep going farther and farther, deeper and deeper into the abyss. This is a man who was deported from the United States. Wound up in Liberia, they made him representative. And this is what we get. Instead of making laws, improving the lives of the people, and advocating for the folks to say, I was once poor. I was making 0 and I survived. Making 5,000, I won't die. Let's do it for the folks. Instead, he said, if you touch my 8,000, which is not enough, I'm going to give you Goa. Johnny, be careful before tomorrow come and your mouth is twisted. But now Blue have got you. He will send something your way for talking about the people, talking on behalf of the people. And you talk about cutting down his salary. That Goa is going to get you tonight, tomorrow. You might come with your mouth twisted. This is the Liberia you are in, Johnny, your take.
Look, Mr. Gayman, you know, our country business, it's just to tell you that this platform, we should try our best to keep it on and keep educating our people about governance and what it takes to be somebody in the House of Representatives, in the Senate, to be a president, before even the president can appoint somebody to be a minister or director. Because, Mr. Gayman, sometimes I can be wondering, how do you distinguish people in government from those who are not in government? You know, how do we know the difference, right? Because maybe from the cars they ride, the place they go eat, but in kind of mindset, their way of thinking, the things they do and say, they don't show that. You don't show any distinction between people who are, you know, in government that we expect to have, you know, strong intelligence, strong way of thinking, saying things that are meaningful to population that will help to improve the country. But DJ is telling you that if anybody costs his money to 5,000, in my view, 5,000 is still too much for them. It's still too much. But I don't mind if they would get them 5,000, we should not give them car. If we get them 5,000, we should not give them scratch card. They should have no other benefit or nothing at all if you earn 5,000. Nothing. No scratch card, no car, no fee, or nothing. All you would need probably if you're traveling out of the country, you get traveling allowance. Other than that, nothing. We can save the money from buying car. How you can you buy a car every 3 years for somebody for the people in here around here? But let's go back to DJ Blue. He said he will throw Goa. Does he know the call Goa? Does he even understand how Goa business works? Or because he want to open your mouth and get talk something as though he's trying to put it on. I mean, that also tell the people of number 17, Joseph 17. That's because, so they say, show me your friend, tell you who you are. So Joseph 17, people are like DJ Blue. Because they elected him to be the representative. So whatever he says and do represent them, that had a thing, that had to do things. Majority of them. Because that's why they elected him. You understand? I don't know what and the thing is, the electors in Liberia, Mr. Gayman, don't even understand what the whole government business is about. And I will go back a little bit. I want to believe that maybe 70 or 80% people in the country now, were 10 years old, 1990. Maybe I'm not sure what the statistics with the figures, but I'm assuming, right, just from my sociological eye, that about 70% of those today that are here were 10 years old, 1990. So today, they are about 45 years old or more. They are the one to make a decision for us. And in the 15 years of the war, for the additional 20 years we're going to now send the war, and what has really happened in this country for people to have good mindset, good thinking, in terms of being educated properly. And surprisingly, this man is a product, or maybe a product of the United States of America. They didn't go to school in the U.S. They didn't learn something in the U.S. They didn't learn from the U.S. system of governance, to know what's happening in the U.S., how you will govern a country. Just elementary civics, they didn't learn such thing like that. But meanwhile, the people of Burraville that I know good people in Burraville, very good people in Burraville. because the majority there who thinks that DJ Blue, I like DJ Blue, is how to follow him and make him the representative. That's why he made such statement. That if you cut my salary, I will throw Goa on you. What do you want? What do you know about Goa? If you will go back into traditional, I'm out. What's going on? You hear me, Mr. Gayman?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Hopefully.
Okay, thank God my voice. No, thank God my voice is there. My voice is there, then that's good. You don't have to see me.
I'm hoping that Myean is watching, because you and Victor Nagbe were on the screen and both of you disappeared. Hopefully he is watching.
DJ Blue is a representative of 17. That's a new virgin community that is now overcrowded with structures. That's a place I thought DJ Blue will be working along with the city mayor in that place to see how they can do something like the urban or certain planning for that place, how they can open alleyways, how they can work together to improve that community, to see how they can address the road problem in that community, address the issue of health, issue of education, even on the beach side of that whole community, the Hotel Africa community going towards what you call it, what the place name, that would have been his mind, his mindset. How can we make Brewerville a better community? Since it's not overcrowded like Pinsville, in terms of land space and land use activities, Brewerville is still like open, a lot of open land space all around there. You should be thinking about how they can even lay that area out, make it decent. Because Brewerville is like the entry point of Monrovia, coming from Sierra Leone. If you pass through Cape Mount and Bombing to come to Monrovia, that should be a nice place layout. That should be his concern as a young man. But he's talking about if anybody attempt to reduce my salary from whatever amount he got to 5,000, he will throw Goa. What does he know about Goa? What does he really know about Goa?
Let me welcome the Honorable Victor Nagbe. Can you look through the camera there? I want to make sure you don't have Goa. Okay, there you go. You got no Goa.
Yeah, I'm consulting with my
spiritual advisor.
My spiritual advisor to make sure I don't have any Goa. But it's good to be with you all. Thank you very much for the show, Jerome. You're always here holding the ground. Jimmy, thank you. And Dr. Peabody, thank you. It's good to be with you all.
Dr. Peabody, put your hand up. Let me see. Make sure you ain't got Goa. There you go. No Goa. No Goa. Okay. Listen, Doctor, welcome to the show.
Good to see everybody, man. Good to see you, Johnny. Good to see Mr. Nagbe and Mr. Gayman. Always good to see you. Good to see you.
Victor Nagbe, we are talking about the Liberian people and the lawmaker Bernard DJ Blue Benson threatened to invoke juju on anybody who cuts his salary. Before you go into that, let me quote one of the greatest investors that ever lived, Warren Buffett. He said, an idiot with a plan will beat a genius without plan any day. An idiot with a plan will beat a genius without a plan any day. That's Warren Buffett. Here, the long stretch debate over salary cuts. Lawmaker is trenching different twists as the well-known DJ lawmaker Bernard of District Number 7 Representative earlier DJ Blue expressed opposition to the salary adjustment. And one celebrated disc jockey, DJ Blue, had threatened to invoke juju if anyone ever dares to reduce his salary as proposed. District 17 lawmaker threats comes on the heel of the later deliberation on the floor of the Liberian Senate regarding the bill that intends to reduce their monthly earning from $8,000 to $5,000. The bill and act fixing the monthly remuneration of the legislature was originally introduced by Dillon. Reverend Blue, while expressing opposition to Dillon's proposal in its entirety, made a Facebook post in which he issued a threat of sending Goa if the bill passes the House and the Senate. So we go back to Warren Buffett. An idiot with a plan will defeat any genius that have no plan. Victor, you are from the Southeast. Tell me how this Goa thing works. Does it connect with money? The money you owe me, if you don't pay me, I'm going to send DJ Blue your way, man. What do you think about this Goa thing? How does it work?
Yeah.
Blue
Goa is a real. I understand it's a real thing. Especially in the southeast where I'm from. I've heard people talk about it. I don't think I've seen anybody being afflicted by it, but I've heard people can actually, they can make it to happen to another person. It's a real threat, and I haven't heard of it in a while, but it is something that is is something that it exists. I understand, and people use it back home. I understand. Yeah, it's something that, yeah, like you said, it has the potential to cause swelling and immobilize you. In some instances, you can't walk and all of that. I'm not sure of its potency, whether it causes death. I'm sure it's possible, but yeah, and those who can throw it, I understand they also have the ability. You must have the ability to also reverse it. So I understand it happens, but I'm not sure if DJ Bernard Blue is from the southeast, because this is not something that guys like Jimmy would know about. I mean, Johnny would know about. It's not in the north. I don't think they have it there. It's a popular thing in the southeast. But that aside, this is a real fight, and I think you have to give it to Dylan. I think it was Dr. Peabody or somebody who said the other day. Dylan has to be given some credit in spite of his inconsistencies. He's trying, and I understand Councilor Gongloe's recent write-ups. He continues to talk about the at least mentality. Nobody doing at least Dylan is trying. But this time we got to give Dylan a little bit of credit. He continues, to nibble at this issue, and now I think it's beginning to gain enough support, and so I think he's right. I think the wage bill that this government, the government of the Republic of Liberia is shouldering, is unattainable. This government will crush under this bill if nothing is done, and so I agree with Senator Dillon. The CMC has also expressed willingness to support and collaborate whenever that bill is brought to the House, where the political leader of the CMC is, where we also have representations in the presence of Josiah Marvin Cole and Jerry Youngblood. We will throw our weight behind this bill. We made that also known in our reaction to the budget. We think there is real reason for us to take a look at the remuneration of our people, and not just the legislature, but it has to be across the board. We're proposing that all government officials be capped at $5,000, not more. And even then, that is something that has to be looked at. But I agree with Senator Dillon. I think DJ Blue is making a fool of himself. If the salary in the House cannot sustain him, let him go back to his entertainment world where he was, and so that he can make his private money. But he can't expect to come in the House here to be and enrich himself on the people's dime. I think he's an embarrassment. I understand he's a party chairman, the People's Liberation Party. I was looking him up, and I understand they collaborated with the CDC. You remember he was with Fonati Kova. You remember made a big show and then flipped upside his head. He flipped and so and he's not joking. This man is motivated by moolah, by money. He flipped and he joined the so-called majority, and today he's on the side of the so-called majority. But I think that this is a legitimate issue that I think all patriotic, well-meaning Liberians should rally around and see how we can take a look again at our government payroll and see how we can cut it and reduce it to manager levels.
Thank you. We will, after Dr. talk, we'll go back and spend a few time on our fundraiser. But Dr. Peabody, they say Goa has the propensity to make people swell. You think DJ Bernard Blue you think he got Goa because he's big? You think he got Goa?
He's beyond Goa. He's beyond Goa here already. He not spell Goa name because he went beyond Goa. Also, and he spell Goa name, he only Goa, so because everybody about it Goa.
So Now, Peabody.
My
man, I'm sorry. I because I'll forget. One of my men in Boston High School, and I just remember this. We had a white visiting Peace Corps, and this guy, God bless my friend Smith Wing, this guy Philly went to the cloud and he said, "Look, Lacey, let me tell you, I would throw go on you." And I said, "What is go on?" But everybody,
you know, I think you got some people in that house. The primary goal is to go there and get money. They're not there for nothing else. And we saw it from DJ Blue when Fanati Kofa, who literally supported him financially during his campaign and did everything for him. What happened? When they were moving Fanati, he followed the other people. He left. You know, some people are just there to make money. They're not really there to represent the people or to even advocate on their behalf. They are just there to get the money and get out. And unfortunately, my own friend, brother DJ Blue, my own Baptist brother, is one of them. You know, he's one of them. You know, he's there. I mean, he came out through the entertainment world and was for that to be a representative. Now, you call yourself a representative, you threatening about sending illness to another person because they want to cut your money. I mean, what is that? I mean, who ever think like that? Who ever talk like that? You know, so he's only there for the money. So even if you're to cut the money so that other citizens, other people in your counties can benefit, you put go out on all those people because you don't want it to benefit and the money for you. Because they only want this money. Only a few senators like them or don't like them. I would say Sir Joseph, and a few others who go the extra mile. Sometimes people don't know Sa, but Sa has, when Sa was a refugee in Guinea, he was friendly with a very big church. And up to the day, that church still sent medical doctor, the system, medical supplies to Liberia. And he gave it to almost every county. He gave some to Bassett Hospital. Remember when some stuff was going on? Whole container. He do that. He go all around Bombing County, other places. He said even one of the things that was funny was during the election, a lot of representatives were out there begging him to take medical supplies so he could promote them for them to continue. But I mean, it's not because we close so. But the thing is, Sa does those things. He go around. I leave you. I'm not saying that what he's supposed to be doing, but he does that. You know, it's charity. But DJ Blue, you see nothing. Nothing you see. All right? They drum around, ride these big cars, and they're moving all over the city there and calling themselves representative. Oh, the lawmaker, lawbreaker, and all of that. They're going all around. Then you sitting there. Any sound person will get up. I know the guy will not talk to me about a real minute. People will get up and say that you sent Goa because somebody cut your money and you make that kind of statement. They take you to seriousness.
I have the person that can stop and then go. Look, that guy, anyone who feels certain about DJ for Goa, don't worry. I got my old man in Borough, in Grand Crew. He's called Swangler. He is the old man I know that can destabilize, destroy any element of Goa or whatever witchcraft you want to do. So don't worry about anything. I mean, I am also a traditional man. I'm a sociologist and anthropologist. I have worked in every part of Liberia. I've interacted with zoos and burials. I know what they can do, what they cannot do. So look, forget about DJ Blue is nothing. DJ Blue doesn't work on ends when it comes to that kind of matter. Forget about him. And in fact, just by uttering that word, I will call Omen Swen and tell him somebody is making statement about our background. So he will face the Goa before even anybody. After this call, I'll call Omen Swen and tell him, I said, Bolibo, I'm going to call him. I said, Bolibo, somebody is trying to play in your terrain. But he will have no room to you. So we'll try him for to see why he can throw Goa. Saying that he announced it from your mouth, he said he will send Goa somebody. I will call my old man and say, oh man, somebody is playing your terrain. Let's test him and see why he can throw Goa for true. So don't worry about DJ Blue.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go. We're going to take the next few minutes to talk about the information dissemination process that we have here. Who are those behind the scenes, people who are controlling the cameras, they are bringing people on, taking people off, getting on the bike, going to Nima, going to Bassa, going. When Bassa people struck oil, that our news people were supposed to go there, they went and showed the picture. And I'm telling you now, Johnny, you are not from Bassa. Don't go there. Don't claim Bassa. I'm talking to Victor. Don't claim Bassa. We found oil. Dr. Peabody, me and you, that our oil, we get it.
So Mr. Gayman, I see the phone I read off.
Yes. It was verified. That is basically crude oil. So what we are saying here today, before I find out how many people say they're from Bassa. Shit. Say we got the oil. Everybody is from Bassa. The Fadiga.
My great grandparents came from Bassa.
I know. The Fadiga said they're not from Senegal anymore. They're from Bassa.
They're from Bassa. Junior, you got any little piece of Bassa in you?
He said my name. Don't you see my name? UJ Fadiga. That people who were just passing through the war had their children in Bassa. Now they say they all the Bassa. That Sam Johnson made it clear. Y'all laugh at all. Y'all say we sold our land for small fees.
You don't kind of went near us.
No, this time around we giving you nothing.
Hey, got you back here.
Everybody said that the reason that we're gonna build our own smell no taste. You will smell it, but you will not taste it. Nothing coming your way this time. You can jump up and down, go to the St. John River, jump up the bridge. You ain't getting nothing. That's it. You're not Bassa, please. So the man said, but that the dollar they're speaking that Bassa, I said the man speaking English.
But congratulations to the people, the Bassa nation. That is good news. For a while there has been speculation as to whether it was real oil. So I'm glad that that has been confirmed. If it is, I don't know in what quantities, but this is good. I just hope that it will be managed well so that it will benefit people of Basel and also Liberia as well.
Mm-hmm.
But congratulations, this is good news.
Yeah, but like the folks say,
who were able to verify that it was real? Or I saw EPA there.
Mm-hmm.
Did the national oil company go there as well?
The oil company were there. The folks went there. They confirmed that what was in the ground, yes, indeed was oil. And now they have to now go through the testing stages. It's not about quantity now, it's about what it is. So here are the photos of the different agencies on the ground. So we have the EPA, we have all the NOCAL, we have everybody there. They brought, they started all the BB terminology, geologists and seismologists and all of them.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were in Liberia. But where have they been all along?
Wow. And the oil been wasting there for a while.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
So here it is. Now, if you're from Bassa, you're from Liberia.
But Jerome, let me ask you this though. I mean, and this is probably for everybody. Are you telling me that in spite of all of these assessments, the president talked about the Chinese came in and did all of that, our mineral, assessment, we didn't know that there was oil in Bassa under Bassa land? I mean, how did we not know that?
Listen, this is why the folks are saying, if you have a degree in civil engineering, if you have a degree in geology, and you're sitting with your tie in an office in Monrovia, right, you wasted your money, you wasted your study, you have a degree only in name. If you are an engineer, civil engineer, and you're Minister of Public Works, you think it would make sense that you be on the field to supervise as well, not just an administrator. The Honorable Musa Ability is doing. He's a representative. He's not only there to say my job is oversight. When they are building the bridges, he's there. He doesn't have all the answers. Those who know will tell him, he will say, but why the water is not moving? The people will tell him, well, we are redirecting the water because we're building a bridge here. We need a put pillow here. That's what a supervisor does. If you sit in Monroe with your tie and your expensive Armani suit, you wouldn't even know what's happening outside. Look at Buchanan. This place is, what, 90 miles from Monrovia? And nobody knew. The people took the shovel, right? They brought the digger, that thing, the panka, whatever they call it, and they went to another site and dug about 2 feet into the ground, and the oil came up again. Because some of us were skeptical. We thought somebody dumped the oil. We thought it was a leak. But when the people started digging and they started seeing this thing, real crude, I mean, it's unrefined, but it was coming up. So we are not saying that we are going to get rich tomorrow. It's a process. It will take a while, maybe years, but at least we have a prospect. So we want to say kudos to those folks in Grand Bassa County. If you are from under the water, come and tell me what's happening there. We told you already. The people in Lofa say when an alligator come on top of the water and tell you, boy, it's rough down there. We eating people. Don't take it. Don't say he lying. He knows. So here we are, but let's take the next 10 or 15 minutes or so, Dr. Peabody. Let's do some fundraiser for our folks. I was disappointed yesterday that we couldn't even raise $200. So hopefully we can pass the $200.
We raised $250 yesterday.
$250. We didn't reach our 300 mark.
Yeah, we had $275.
Good.
Now we want to just carry out every day. We try to take a little bit, but
yes,
it's mainly to help the guys in Liberia for their Christmas. We just want to send them and their family somewhere to have lunch on Christmas Day or what day they see like. But we want to send them to just have a lunch for themselves, their family, a shopping full, or maybe they like a favorite shoes or shirt they want to buy. Want to give them something that they can use for the Christmas. Because when we were small, we could buy a shirt to a new shirt, a new trousers to wear on Christmas Day. So we just want to give something to the guys and help them. So I know Tomalin and Sylvester share with me that they will be sending a contribution very soon, and I will be making my contribution today.
Good. Doctor, I'm not cutting you off, but we're going to turn this thing into counter meat.
Yeah.
We want to see because from what I'm seeing here, I see Grand Bassa County. I see Jam Borrow from Grand Bassa County with $100.
Oh, Jam from Bassa too?
Yes. Jerome Gayman from Grand Bassa, $100. Wow. Sarah from River G, $50. Say Gongloe, the man with the big head mouth over here, sent $25. That Nima County got $25. Nima?
Yeah, too small.
No, hey, Nima people, y'all gotta bring your A game, man. Nima people, and where's the people from Lofa? Where's the Lofa people here? Where's the Grand Gita people? Where's the Maryland County people? Where's the
Lofa should be the money era now. Lofa should be the money era.
Well,
no, but the money is where the oil is coming down.
I ain't seen nothing yet.
In Lofa, not for cheering.
Yeah, okay. But we are not cheering here. Send the money here. So, ladies and gentlemen, so far, it is Grand Bassa County, River G, followed by Nimba. What happened to the other counties? What happened to Magibi, Monserrato, Bong, Nimba, Lofa, Bapolu, Bomi, Cape Mount? Y'all come on now.
We are coming in. I mean, I'm moving along with my uncle Pewee, Sylvester. We're coming in. And what do you call it? Tomalin coming in from Magibi. So don't bother. Magibi, Lofa, they already said they will provide as soon as possible. Before call the other county, call the Grand Cape Mount, Maryland man, not even here. What the Roger men are here?
The Maryland mayor, Victor Nagbe is from River. He's from Maryland County. Actual fact is he's from Riverside County. If you are from Riverside, you better show up. You better show up for Riverside. What's about those people from Bong?
I'll tell you.
Bong County. We want people from Bong County. Where's the former vice president?
Johnny got a mute.
Eh?
Johnny mute.
Johnny, yeah, mute. Where is Honorable Joel Howard Taylor? You from?
Yeah, Maryland will be represented too soon. I'm waiting for my get Tiola to come, so we can do the thing.
Oh, yeah. So I call.
So you call her name.
When I call Kobe near ASC, she will pop up.
You want to pop up for that?
That's it. As long as I don't mention those two names, she's okay. So guys, this is the counter meet here, and let me go look for the trophy. Okay, there you go. We got a trophy right here.
There's a trophy.
We got a trophy right here. We got a trophy. Here we go. There we go. Oh, the trophy is here. There you go. You see? The small one going to
I hold on your children trophy. You can't bring out. Did you have permission for it?
It's a TCA under you see it? You see that small one going to Ganganoo. That small trophy going to Ganganoo for 25 years.
Look at that. You don't call Sarah names. She's not here now.
Where you from?
Where she come from? From River G.
You're from River G.
I'm from River G and I'm from Cape Mount.
I see.
No, you from River G.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, you vibe woman too?
I got vibe blood in me too.
You got a little bit of vibe in you?
Can you cook the basajama?
Oh, yeah. My mom is from Cape Mount.
Oh, okay. Well, guess what? A small trophy going to Nima so far because Ganganoo gave $25, so the small one going to him.
Ganganoo made all the big money for $25. Come on now.
The big one going to Grand Bazaar for now. You see the big one?
Y'all got oil, so we can stay in front of y'all.
Jane said she got a little bit of basso in Boeing Hall. No, she said a little bit of lo-fi and wait a minute.
But she like, okay, so we want she give for, so she got to give her other content.
No, but she can't give her basso now.
That $100, we're not splitting the 4 whales. Then
you can't give her basso now. You know they just found oil in basso.
Basso 50 for the other side.
No. We taking it all because we got oil. So we taking it.
Basso put you get oil now, so we get nobody.
Don't you see how you can see how I'm shining? I rub the oil on my face. Everywhere I rub the oil.
I eat all the money.
Tonight I'm going home. Before I go to bed, I'm going to rub that oil again.
I tell you.
You know when it's cold, your hands and your leg get itchy.
That's time for the Bazonians to stand up for that oil. Nobody want to eat that oil money.
I tell you.
They'll sell that oil right under them.
Listen, somebody told me that the Bazaar people say crooked. They digging something that well underneath to suck the oil and send it somewhere. That's what
nobody. I'm talking directly to the Bazaar people. You're not send that oil and nobody eat that money.
And nobody for your oil. Ain't nobody gonna suck that oil.
No, I'm gonna suck that oil.
No,
that
they ain't gonna
do
be
it. Well lighted. That place need to be paved by your oil money. Okay. Houses, zinc houses need to be changed to concrete houses with bathrooms and everything in it.
The way they cook and talk about Rose said, and y'all share that thing with Rose said, y'all getting
No. They said they want to independent. They call themselves. They got their own content. They done.
Yeah, they said they want to be content.
Yeah, you want to be your own content. You finish.
No, man. They said they made a mistake. They're coming back.
No, but that oil is for all Basso land. It includes Grand Basso.
No.
That oil is for all Basso land because in Bonkane we got Basso land into Babli. Then in Magibi, Basso Po got land there. They got portion of Magibi. Most of the country got Basso Po too. So that oil is for Basso people. All anyway you find Basso people is for the people. It's for all. But I can tell you something, man. I'm going to tell you, in the next 3 months, oil will lose. In the next 3 months, you will happen because the thing is, the Niger people that are from in the water, they go on the ground and taking the oil from
Listen, Johnny, you can say all you want to say.
Deserve better, Johnny, please.
Our
people been suffering for too long. They deserve better.
If you move to Nima, you on your own. You are Nimayan. If you are Basa person, you move to Kema, you on your own. You are Kematini. We say Basa for Basa. So if you're not in Grand Basa, that Grand Basa, whether you in for Riverside, forget it. You want to independent?
No. You can't do that to Riverside. Riverside has to eat part of that money.
I know, right?
We just
I
did
don't
it.
get Riverside the money. Riverside said we don't want to be on y'all.
That's right.
We want to be our own.
Riverside gave us your 4 senators, your 2 senators, then you can come back to eat with us. Other than that, stay.
All the boy eating people must share that money with big. Share that oil.
You see what? There's somebody want to throw Goa on somebody else because of the money. No.
Mr. Gayman, you know what I suggest? I suggest that when you're talking about some of these lawmakers, you need to put a picture of our audience to know them and see them. Like the DJ Blue you were talking about. Can you put a picture up?
That's the Myean.
I think I've seen it. Yeah, DJ Blue, I've seen him.
Myean in the back.
You can put DJ Blue
picture up.
Yeah, DJ Blue right here. Look, we don't want to be bad mouthing anybody on this show because the platform is better than that. But we have to be honest. This is a man who was deported from Atlanta. He went to Liberia and the people blessed him. Put him in the house. This is a man who had a 0 income. Now he's making 9,000 and he's saying the money too small. Can you believe how ungrateful people are in that country? That you
want it too small? That's what you're saying?
Yeah, but that's what they say. They say they want more money.
Are you serious?
So this is what we are talking about. When God blesses you, it's good to come back and say thank you. This is why the late Senator Johnson said, you are one of the 9 lepers. He said, Joseph Waka was one of the 9 lepers.
Please stop.
He said, Joseph Waka, you drop. And Joe, we are pick you up and you toting battery around here. You are one of the 9 lepers. DJ Bernard, you said you would give somebody Goa and they will swear. DJ Goa, I think you got DJ Blue.
Who he gave you Goa to?
Anybody who cut his salary, he will make them swear. But when you look at him, he's so big, I think he got Goa. He swear himself. Big. And he's sitting over there talking bad about people.
But then I met who crossed over because what his name Thomas Collins and the guy.
Yeah.
The guy who had the money in the car who said to get them the fund. Yeah. And DJ Blue said, he look at it and said, what are you doing on this side?
That's right. DJ Blue said, I will die for the rule of law. I stand with the rule of law. And nobody, constitutionally, this is wrong.
Yeah.
The next day, after they gave him money, he said, constitutionally, I'm with the majority, and the majority carry the vote. So I'm with the majority in keeping with the Liberian Constitution. And I said, you kidding me?
Yeah.
This is but let's go to our fundraiser. Guys, I posted the number. What is our telephone number?
We'll keep the Goa for those who want to steal the oil from Grand Bassa people.
Oh, if you steal listen, we are going to hire DJ Blue as our consultant for anybody who attempt to claim Bassa as their homeland. We will give you Goa. If you try to steal the oil, we'll give you Goa. And to the Liberian law, the Bassa lawmaker, if you're compromised, you're going to get Goa. Our consultant, DJ Blue, knows how to do this thing. He has.
Man, we got antidote for that thing. This was off. Any heard Johnny just now? That one old man who already.
Until Johnny comes to your aid, you're going to get Goa. But let's go to the fundraiser, guy. We need money.
Yeah, we gotta help the guys. We gotta give it to the guys in
Even
Liberia.
if we hire DJ Blue to send Goa to you, we still gotta pay him because he won't do it for free.
Yeah.
It is the man's, his expertise is in Goa. So guys, if you don't want Goa, send a cash out to $TCA 2500. And if you are in America and you love to do Zelle, it's 678-438-3003.
Yeah.
And we raise $200 every day.
And we sincerely thank all those who have contributed
Yes.
so far. That includes you, Jerome. I think,
Yeah, that we thank Mr. Gayman.
Yeah.
Jerome Gayman, he gave a contributor 100. Sarah gave $50. Say Gonganu gave 25. Jen Maboro gave $100. So, guys, we are trying to get at least, if we can raise at least $500 every day. Most of you who are watching by YouTube and others, if you want to contribute, the Cash App is there and the Zelle is right there. We just put it.
If you're in Liberia, SendWave. If you want to send it by SendWave, 0888-297-311. You can send it, go into the same part. Soon it gets there, they will call Dr. Peabody and he will make the correction here.
Yeah.
So guys,
we'll add it up.
While we are talking, we want you to please go ahead and do, this is the week of giving. We want you to help us out. We're going to do this again tomorrow. We want to make sure that our boys and girls on the ground, they feel special, they feel appreciated for putting their lives on the line.
I'm seeing another contribution here. I want to thank her again. She's really supporting the closing acumen. Miss McBurr sent it for another county. I don't know which county she sent it one for, but she just
put it on the plaza. She's doing
sent it 100, sent another $100.
She said she's from Bongabasha.
So she had made $200. So one for Batha and one for Bomi.
No, but she's already made the Baza because Baza got oil now, so she got to make the Baza.
Yeah. No, she said bongo, not Bomi or bong.
If a bong. Sorry.
But thank you, Jane. Jane. Thank you. Thanks to all who have contributed. Let's please.
So we are at $375.
Oh, excellent. Listen, guys. Listen, if you're from Bomi, don't let this thing, there's a stereotype in Liberia that the people from Bomi are mean. Don't let us stand. Can't make them shame. Bring some, let Bomi be represented. Where's Senator Snow?
Yeah.
Or the corruption King Kong, where he at? Excuse me, Honorable Tyler, show up.
Yes.
That name, we're not going to call that name anymore.
But I said, Jerome.
Because it's called CKK.
CKK.
Our society name, when I spell it, I will just get it. The acronym CKK. Wherever you are, make them shame. Come on here. Where's the other man, Sano Johnson, that said he will kill people? Former Senator Sano Johnson, come and show out here. If you want your job back, come on and show us something. And I read something in the paper today that the port manager, Mr. Sekou Dukle, is trying to run for the Senate seat in Bomi. Honorable Dukle, come on out here and show us what you are made of. Help our young folks on the ground celebrate the Christmas in style.
He can do it. He can do it. Mm-hmm.
Like
a lot of people that be watching this show. I mean, from Nima, a flawed Toma is watching this show. So flawed.
Oh,
I mean, it's one of the millionaire in Nima there.
Yeah, Floyd Toma, from what I understand, in Basel they consider him the real light. They say he can provide light everywhere. Jungle Power, I think his name is.
Jungle.
Yeah.
Very successful businessman. So Floyd
Toma, come and show your juice, your light. Come on, give us some light. Let's do that.
You guys input the number for those in Liberia. They want to contribute.
The number is there. If you look under the screen,
the number is here.
Myean.
The Myean is 0888.
You better come be posting the thing that have money we're trying to
get.
It's growing. It's growing. Look at the bottom here. It's growing here.
It's going at the bottom.
But we just wanted to be stationary so people can see it. Let's make it stationary. We got two numbers.
Yeah, your opinion.
Jerome, when we finish with it, I sent something to Myean. You know, the CMC building bridges now. Everybody want to build bridge. There's something that's being circulating on social media. Apparently, Tyler and Vani, they joined and built a bridge. I sent it to Myean.
Oh,
please share it to our people to see it. Yeah, I mean,
Myean, please. Where
I saw that bridge. I saw that bridge.
After the fundraiser, I sent it to Myean.
Send it to me.
Let me send it to you.
Yes.
Yeah, I sent it to your WhatsApp. So
they said the speaker contributed 1,005 to that bridge, and then the other one.
Come on now! I thought you meant to us.
No, the bridge is talking about. I read a story that the speaker contributed. Not the speaker, the former speaker Tyler. Contributed 1,500, and the other lawmaker, I don't know what his name is, contributed some cement, and the citizens are not happy about it because they said they need more to do more for the people. So
Tyler got money now.
Huh?
Tyler got money now.
Yeah, and is it doing money?
Tyler got money now. Tyler program really.
Tyler going back to the Senate, He going back to the Senate.
CKK.
What Jane says she asking me, don't look for no palaver here tonight. Why I say because I said yeah, that's on the bridge there. Yeah, the bridge there.
You gotta get the people less on credit.
And they say they call it luxury bridge. That
Tyler built this bridge for the people of Bobby.
And the two lawmakers that joined.
There are two lawmakers bridge over there.
But did the Bishop Paraguay ask for the respect?
The Ministry of
Yeah, I want to ask you, did they ask for the one asking you guys and the Paraguay Ministry have a blueprint?
I don't think so.
Hey, Myean, man, come on, put it.
Let me call Myean. I don't know what this is.
Myean, this is a masterpiece. Just let it walk. Oh, Yaka Koluba built and broke down the next day.
But in
fact, Mr. Gayman, I didn't just take the time to extend sympathy to Yaka Koluba. I understand he lost his mother, I think a week ago or so. And so, Yaka Koluba, if you listen to us, we want to extend our sympathy for the loss of your mother. Yeah, he lost his mother recently. And speaking about him, with all the things Yaka Koluba does in our place, our biggest problem in Liberia is corruption. And I've never heard one day that Yaka Koluba has ever been linked to any other corruption in our legislature, in our house, since he's been there about 8 years now. 6 years we are within, and now 2 years. To the extent that his mother was not flown out of the country. She was at the SOS hospital. There where she stayed and passed. I mean, I see him as a hero. I mean, I know people don't like him because of the way he can say things or do things. But for the fact that we all recognize that corruption is the number one disease for that affect Liberia, and he's not been part of that. He's been fighting against that to the extent that they have been denying him, his benefit in the house. He has been struggling on his own to take care of himself. So to the extent that like other people that mother will be said to fly into Ghana, fly into Ethiopia, to India, to other places. But based on his struggle in this country, he's been denied most of the assets he need to have in the house. To the extent that he kept his mother here, she was at the SOS and passed. I think I must respect Yaka Koluba as a young man, with all the differences I may have with him for the way he speaks about issues, but I think he's somebody that I need to respect for the role he played in fighting corruption. So I have my sympathy to Yaka Koluba for all that he has done. I share my sympathy, for the loss of his mother. And more besides, Yaka said we are brothers from Lofa.
Honorable Yaka Koluba, our sympathy to you But that bridge that broke down, we still got to bring you to speed for it. I don't know if you got a blueprint for that bridge.
Did they ask him for blueprint?
The whole thing now. So, guys, let's.
They can ask for blueprint.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was perusing the newspaper and I came across this. Liberia police beating of an 8-month pregnant woman sparked protests in Painesville. Marketeer demands justice as city official urge calm. Painesville outrage erupted in Painesville, bustling red light community hub on Tuesday, December the 3rd, as local marketeers staged a massive protest demanding justice after a Painesville City Corporation police officer allegedly assaulted an 8-month pregnant woman. The street seller during a routine enforcement operation. The victim, 39-year-old Fatu Kamara, alleged to be an 8-month pregnant woman.
Wow.
Was reportedly hit during a tussle with the officer identified as Solomon L. Boykai of the PCC police force, leading to her urgent hospitalization at JFK Medical Center. Following the incident, several marketeers gathered at the PCC office in Painesville to demand transparency and accountability from the city mayor of Painesville City Corporation. Speaking on behalf of the angry seller, Stephen Divine Peter, a permanent marketeer at Red Light, publicly called for the immediate expulsion of Officer Solomon Boykai, who he alleges is known at Red Light. Peter claimed that the assault was premeditated, stating that Officer Boykai acted under the direct instruction of another marketeer identified only as chair lady to forcibly remove Ms. Kamara's market table from a disputed location. This is not Solomon Boykai's first time. He has always been assaulting marketeers and even destroying their markets. Peter stressed, highlighting a pattern of alleged abuse. We are all Liberians and need to hustle to survive. But the PCC police keep embarrassing us. This is the woman at the JFK hospital, a pregnant woman.
I see her.
Can you imagine an 8-month pregnant woman selling on the street to make a living? And the police asked her to move or be removed. She refused, and he forcibly moved her to the point where she was assaulted, and she wound up in the hospital. Johnny, you are the people's person. What's going on here? Is this training or power or what? Or pregnant? This woman better.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Gayman, these things sometimes happen in the effect of enforcing the law, but it's also a matter of training. That in a given society, there are ways in which you can enforce the law so that it doesn't bring about a negative repercussion. I mean, Red Lake District, Painesville Market, is comprised of people who are just hustling for the day. I mean, for the day, if you don't go and sell, and when you see people passing around, you can see in their faces that they are frustrated. They are hoping that somebody can buy 1 or 2 items for them to get food for the day. Majority of people in Painesville don't sell, I mean, to save any money. They are selling for the food for the day and the next day. So, I mean, this is where we need to understand the sociology of the community working as a law enforcement officer. If you don't understand these things, then you put the government at the negative end with the people of the country. Because the way you enforce the law, if you enforce the law in the way that you create an angry crowd against the state, then the state has a challenge. The state also extends to the city corporation, the city government. The city government is part of the state. So, I mean, I'm so disappointed that you're being enforcing the law and not observing the terrain you're working in. I mean, you see the person, I think 8-month-old pregnant person is not hitting. It should be something that is exposed, right? You will see the person condition. So even if they are in violation, to the extent of the violation, that's how you be able to enforce the law on that individual. Now you went through this torso, person wounded, taken to the hospital. I mean, it's just not good for the state. It's not good for society. It's not good for the governance. It's not good for the leadership of Painesville District. So, and the Painesville police, Sometimes I have an issue with them because they appear to be in the street to stop cars from parking the places and moving marketers from the street. But the police are not good for that. You want to protect us in our communities. We live in Pinsville, right? People pay tax for other things in Pinsville. So protect us too when we are in bed in the neighborhood. Protect us from crime. Along with the city women, along with the national police. But I mean, to be very frank, that was so beyond the strength of applying the law. If you are seeing the more condition, if it is a violation, there's a way you address her to remove her from where she was. And now imagine Mr. Gayman, the woman is pregnant. You don't know why she's even eating for 2 days. You don't even know that, and you know the country we're living in right now. Now from hand to mouth, hand to mouth. No one who is pregnant at 2 months will leave their home if they have everything to their need to go and stay in the market to go and sell in the market. Clearly, I mean, my sister still there. She knows. I mean, a person at that level at 8 months, if you have the need, if you have the support from home or from your partner, or whatever, you wouldn't be in the market doing no kind of business. That kind of tough terrain in the radar market. So those are all things that we expect our law enforcement officers to understand when they go to engage public assumptions.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Johnny, there you go. Tomorrow we have, every Friday, Telvi and I, we try to do something different. Tomorrow we are bringing on educators tomorrow. So, Mr. Nagbe, Honorable Nagbe, Johnny, those of you who are into education, we'll be asking you to join us tomorrow. We're going to be doing something tomorrow in 2 segments. One is K through 12. We're going to be doing K through 12. And then the second hour, we're going to be doing higher ed. And we're going to have the great CC Goya tomorrow. We are bringing him from the border. And we're bringing him here to discuss higher education. We are going to be talking K through 12 tomorrow, the first hour. And then the second hour, we're going to be talking higher ed. And then we are working on professional architects, civil engineer, people who build roads and bridges for next Friday. So we can bring Liberian professionals mixed with other nationals that will come in and discuss the issues of construction, road construction, including the topography and all of these things. So those would be very technical areas.
I got a question for you on that. Are you guys going to be discussing education, higher education, in regards to like what's happening in our country and solutions as to what they can do or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the American education is different from that system, is different from that of Liberia. So we may have to.
Yeah, what we are doing here, this is why we are bringing Liberian educators that taught in Liberia that are teaching here. And we're going to be talking about the best practice, what they need to do. And like we want to be, the theme is K through 12 system, what works, the problems, the solution, our failures, and the pathway forward. What's working, our strength, the problem, our structural issue, technical education, teacher shortage, curriculum weakness, slow adoption of technology, emerging tools, all of those things that we can do in Liberia. And one of the things that I don't want to push, we rely too much on NGO. The Liberian government needs to invest. Because when the NGO comes, Honorable Peabody is here, when these people come, they build schools, when they leave, the government has no vested interest. Look what happened to the hospital over there in Bapolu. People build these things, the government doesn't, like in this country, in other African countries I've been, it is a standing law that if you come and build a school, after a year, the government will immediately take over it and incorporate it into the education system. So you are NGO, you are a philanthropist, and you come into their country, you build a nice school. Once it passes their inspection, after 1 year, the government because the administrative piece is the most expensive part. The government will say, thank you, we'll take over it. In Liberia, it's the opposite. You build a hospital. Once you leave, they say, well, that was a project. We don't have anything to do with it.
Can I suggest something too?
Yes, ma'am. And you will be on tomorrow?
I'll be on.
Good. Go ahead.
I want to suggest that maybe we'll have a show one day wherein we can put some idea. Our country needs technocrats. We need an association of technocrats that the government can refer to when they're about to do certain things. Because right now, people just doing things out of, sometimes maybe out of political will. But the country actually needs technocrats. Look at the buildings over there. These schools that were built, these hospitals that are built. What is being done? What are some of the brain that we have in the country to put ideas together, to be innovative, to be creative, to come up with ideas that we can do something out of the norms to make our country what it's supposed to be for our people. We need technocrats, my people. We do. And I know that we have Liberians, qualified Liberians, but they're political thing that won't spoil our country. Regardless of politics, let's have an association of technocrats that we can use to move forward with our country. The people do it here in America. Before they build some of these places, they have the engineers. They have, they have a lot of different technocrats that consult. They study these things. But one other thing is all politics. I think we should discuss that one of these days.
I'll say this quickly. I know Jimmy wants to comment.
My brother Nagbe. Look, my sister Sarah is here. We have the Association of Engineers in Liberia in Monrovia. Our problem, like you said, is politics. People take over this country. You don't even ask questions. Do we have an association of experts who are engineers? We have engineers here. I'll say that forever because my younger brother is a civil engineer. He worked 5 years in Saudi Arabia as a civil engineer building railroads and bridges in Saudi Arabia. So that young man came back here. He has been the prime minister over and over during the Weah regime. Up to now, no one asked, nobody got his time because they were asking which party he is. He had no party affiliation. Therefore, he's here right now. He has to go to Nima now to help our brother to do rubber bio. So an engineer who has been working around is now going to Nima to be doing rubber purchase because he got to feed his family. So he's completely outside his area. And second thing, Sarah, in this country we have universities. I know for a fact that in other countries, universities conduct research. They inform people with policy that we use to position. We have universities here. When have you heard the government saying we'll put money in the project for, or we ask the university to do a research in this area to give us some information or some data? Nothing. So it is us that in the government system, because we don't have those kind of information, that kind of intelligence, to even ask those kind of questions. That's the problem we have. But we have a lot of associations here, a lot of it here. We have, all kinds of things here, man. We are organized here, but our leadership doesn't recognize us except if you were a leader for that group and you were part of a party, and then you become recognized. Other than that, forget it.
Well, then that rests on our lawmakers to make a law to demand them to do it.
Victor.
Yes. Look, I don't disagree with Johnny and Sarah. Look, I tell you that I don't like Seleke because he gave me a hard time, but I gotta say he's one of the best in the area. I'm happy you bring him on tomorrow. He understands, what it means, to run, what best practice mean, that make a school effective. He does that in the Minnesota area, so I'm happy you bring him on tomorrow. Yeah, I agree. We need technocrats, we need engineers, but there are some very basic things we can do, that will help. We can train our teachers. Over here, the professional development here is not intended to shame any teacher. You can come in a classroom with all of your deficiency. They will give you all the tools you need.
Yep.
That is the objective, is to make you master of your craft.
Right.
And they will work with you. They will give you all the training you need. We need to help our people, give them the tools that they need. Yes, there are those who don't belong in classroom. First of all, you have to set a rigorous certification process. You don't just come from anywhere and come into the classroom. There's a certification process. And then after the certification, there's a requirement, time spent in the classroom, even for you. When you start working, before you go on to your graduate study, there's a certain amount of time you got to put in, because they're here to give you at least 5 years to be able to master your crap. Yeah, after 5 years, then you can get in the money, you wipe your face, you're ready to teach. But it takes time before it becomes cyclical. Now, as that is happening, the new things happening in your field. So you have to keep engaged. They have to keep training you, and all of these kind of things. The schools themselves, there are benchmarks. You got to meet certain benchmarks every year. You got to, the assessments come in. You have to perform a certain level. If you can't, you get put down. So there are things that can be done, Of course, I agree, funding, all of that. But there's some very basic things that can be done. And I'm happy you're bringing Seleke Kromah on tomorrow. He's my brother and a fellow educator. I don't like his politics, and so I don't like him. But, I'm very, very proud of what he's doing in Minnesota. So I'm happy tomorrow. And I'll be here tomorrow. We'll start with a fight, but I'm sure at the end of the day, we'll agree on what needs to be done. So I look forward to the day tomorrow when he comes on, so that we'll have a very, very invigorating and very, very, a good conversation. But I thank you guys. I must take my exit now. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay, Seleke Kromah, you're gonna abandon the border tomorrow to be here, boy.
He's gonna bring a palm wine, leave the border tomorrow.
Everybody gonna be coming through. No border control tomorrow. So the whole Liberia, the whole Lofa country the people gonna come through from. They're gonna be coming from Guinea, from Sierra Leone, from Ivory Coast. Well, Liberia is in trouble tomorrow. But Johnny, we're gonna be talking. The system we got in Liberia is a zero-sum game, right? You win the election, and to the winner goes the spoils. So you take the cake and you divide it among your supporters. You're not talking about expertise and qualified people and technocrats. The people who supported you one job, and that's why they brought you in. So you got to get that job. If you don't get that job, your base will leave you, and you have nowhere to turn. So Liberia is in the quagmire here.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Gayman, that is the problem we have with our governance system.
Johnny, just your camera. We can see you. Okay, there you go.
That is a problem we have with our governance system. I mean, once you win an election, I expect you to look for the best Liberians to contribute towards the nation building process. Because you have to address the problem that the country is faced with that you promised to solve. And by doing that, you need to look for the best mind, the qualified individuals that can help you to do that. If you don't do that, then your system will fall and you will fail to accomplish your objective or your goal that you set. And like I said, for example, I got my graduate degree from regional science from the University of Liberia. I'm a member of the Regional Planning Association in the US. I normally attend their online discussions, their online planning, and I learn a lot from them. The other day we're having a workshop online. They were talking about garbage management, waste management in the US in one of the states. I got from California State. To the extent that Mr. Gayman, I learned that the vehicle that carry the garbage also have restrictions and laws.
Oh yes.
That it should not be traveling and having debris dropping from the truck into the street. And here in Liberia, it's common. The dead truck pass and the street is dirty, is wasting stinking water on the street. And imagine, I'm not in the US, I'm here, but every time the guys are having workshops about city planning, urban planning, municipality and things, I join them online. Once I get the information, I click online and learn from them and see what they're doing in the US and how they are managing their cities. So sometimes that's why when I'm speaking about issues here, I'm speaking from informed position. I don't speak on things that I got no idea about. You understand? So, yeah, and Mr. Gayman, the problem is we are a small country. Small country. Look, if we're to play Morovia, right? Technically speaking to you, Mr. Gayman, we can play Morovia, the whole 5.2 billion people can live in Morovia. Then everywhere left empty. I'll tell you the fact, Mr. Gayman, we can play Morovia, from Morovia to Habel, from Morovia to Kakata, Morovia to Tomalin. All can live right here in this part of Liberia. We leave Lofa empty, Bonkande empty, Grangele empty. Area will be empty for other reasons. Because, for example, every city of Ghana, Accra, population is 6 million human beings. That's all Liberia already there.
Plus more.
You know what I'm saying? That's Liberia right there. So we can Even this PV, we got into pieces where I live, we just build houses all around. We can build, you can build, you can build structures that can take up to 500 persons in our building, and you have a lot of space empty. What we call spacious planning. You plan to this space for other things. That's why we have all these issues there, Mr. Gayman, with professionalism. If you don't bring the experts on board, you'll be challenged with your governance system. You know, so that's all I can say. You know, we have to just make sure we find the experts, and the experts are here. We've been having engineers trained in this country since in the 1960s. Look, I read about one. I forgot they had an architectural group in Morovia here. They were the best architects. Mr. Gayman, if you have an eye of architectural work, you see those things that were built in this country in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. They are so unique and accurate compared to today's construction. You will see you see the corners, the 90-degree corners, the 45-degree corners. They are so accurate, so unique, and you like the building. But go today we building in the country. So we are not building no houses and things. No correct cutting, no correct, no 45-degree, no 90-degree, no angle. It's just building the way they want to build. And as a result, you won't see the figure, you won't see the beauty of the building. You won't see the beauty of the structure they put together. Look, I went to Harper and saw the Janssen building, the Anderson building, and the Torgbean building. Look, Mr. Gayman, I believe we can turn Harper into a modern tourist city. Those buildings, we got to take them, we furnish them, clean them fine. We use Little Kehleboe as an airport. When Little Kehleboe, there's a barren land. I hope they're going to the beach. Nothing can grow there. It's also free, just grass field. You can turn that place into the airport or big international airport. And Harper is so beautiful naturally. Look at the Cape. Look at the lake. Then you go to what's called, there's a place called Fishtown, a nice beach, natural beach that has no heavy tar. No, our country is just so beautiful naturally to the extent that sometimes I say Liberia is the heaven that we're talking about. You won't believe it, Mr. Gayman. No, that's why before I ever go back to God, I want to have my private time to visit Liberia, just go enjoy myself in rural Liberia and see how people live and interact with them. I can enjoy doing it because I can enjoy nature. I see myself interacting with nature to the extent that it's so cheap. Like you in what place? What state you in? See your state is Florida is an expensive state when it comes to beach life. Yeah, we get free beach here, free beach in Morovia, all the way down to Rawsport, all the way to Kehleboe, free beach. You can make here 1 billion times where you want to do there and come back. Where to access beach in the US, you gotta be money man.
Lord,
yeah. You live on the coast to live along the beach. You gotta know who you are there. So all the things are all natural asset we got. But if we don't bring the technician that will help us guide us into what to do, we'll have challenges. And the area that our development relies on in Liberia is the Ministry of Internal Affairs. I will tell you about the truth. If that ministry doesn't have the proper people there, it will be hard to build Liberia internally. Because internal affairs manages cities, city mayors, municipalities. The urban affairs, for example, what we city mayors to see how do we organize our cities, our communities, to open alleyways, to have lights, and to have schools, to have playgrounds, those are all important for our living condition. You understand? But if we don't have the experts to run ministries and agencies, we can keep spending money and look the same way all the time. The day somebody come to power and find the right people for those government ministries and agencies that will put the right thing into place, you will see how Liberia will grow so far, Mr. Gayman. So let me tell you what to do with Sarah.
Yes, Sarah, when we're talking about educating our kids, Johnny, please. When we're talking about educating the young folks, our system does not allow people to come in. You know, I was hoping when Kehleboe Gongloe organized this thing they call the centrist movement, I thought it would have been a home for educators, people who are in the center. They are not member of Unity Party, not member of CDC, but a place where anybody can go and say, you know what, we're looking for electrical engineer. Do you have one certified one with experience? Send them over, let them go through the vetting process.
Right.
And some of us were very hopeful. And then all of a sudden he turned it political. He joined the Unity Party. The last time they say he did the same thing, he joined the CDC. So the day the CDC is not here, now he with the Unity Party. If Unity Party is no longer around, he will join the next party. So we don't have the confidence in, well, these people are professional and non-political. Even we know that they voted for somebody, that they have a political party, but if the country needs an engineer and you are an engineer and a good one, why wouldn't you serve your country? But everything, we see it through the lens of political party.
This is the problem we have. This is why we are still behind. After 178 years, pushing to 200 years, we're still behind. Because we let politics in front of everything. We have technocrats, that Johnny said. We have people over there that are engineers, they have a lot of skills, they have a lot of knowledge on different things. Why we can't help? Why we can't use them? Why we can't use? Our country is suffering. These people have knowledge that is just wasting. And then you have lawmakers in there who fighting for that $9,000 so it can be reduced. Are you kidding me? Let's focus on the development of our country, of our people. We have technocrats over there. When any government comes to power, if these lawmakers are serious, let them put a law down that any government come to power should use those technocrats, because that's supposed to be the bedrock of our country. The development of our country is supposed to be the brain we have. That's how the people build our country. The people didn't build our country in America based on politics. They use technocrats. They use people. Right now, Donald Trump got advisor on everything. The economy, he got advisor on it. And those people that they are there to study different policies to see what he can put in place to make life better for the country, for the people. That's what I'm talking about. Politics has taken us nowhere. No, I sent you a video, Mr. Gayman. I want you to watch that video. Let's put the lies to rest. We have to establish to the Liberian people that Unity Party lied to the Liberian people on the 3 missing boys. Their own IG said it.
Yes.
Okay? Their own IG said it. Lie to the Liberian people that we are killing those boys to take out their kidney and do something with it. Their own IG is in that video telling the people that nothing was missing from anybody. Those boys got drowned. Okay? You come to power on the basis of lies, and you come up and admit that you lie. So the Liberian people can be clear on that one. That you did lie to come to power on the basis of, based on what the IG said. So I just want us to be clear on that one. And back to the conversation about the development of our country, we need to push it. That's why I want us to have this discussion on, or maybe on a Friday. Let's raise that issue again. Let the lawmakers set up a bill. Let's put that group back together. Like, don't you see, we have civil engineers, we have economists, we have doctors, we have nurses. These are the brain behind any developed country. If we cannot make use of these people because they're not part of your party, your political party, then the country is going nowhere. The people you have might not be capable enough to do something.
But Sarah, let's talk so. Your brother is a senator for River
I'm talking that here to my brother too. My brother is including him.
Charity begins at home. If you can't convince your brother to do this, why you think Dylan should do it? He ain't put no bill on the floor yet.
But when I'm saying, my brother just put up a bill on taxes.
For what you talking about? What taxes?
No, he just put up a bill on taxes in order to make tax collection be effective and efficient. People must be trained. I can read the head to do. I was following that story, and I think that's a good thing. People should be trained in these things before they can go out there. You don't send somebody out there when they don't know anything.
Did he put any bill there, the thing you're talking about, to have consortium, to have qualified people? Did he put it there?
No, not yet. But you are talking about bill. That's what I'm saying. My brother, he has been doing well when it comes to putting bills on the floor. I think there should be his second or third bill on the floor.
How long he been in the Senate?
The man just got elected. I think there's going election to be a senator. Yeah.
Okay, good. So we get him a break there. Johnny, we are talking about what good is it to put all to have like I keep saying, right? We need a consultant. We need a directory of Liberians with all their qualifications, and they can be screened and verified. But the stumbling block in that is that your partisans, they follow you everywhere, and they've done everything to bring you to power. What do you say to them? Do you say, now that you have brought me to power, I'm going to bring other people in, and don't you think you'll be like committing suicide?
No, Mr. Gayman. The thing is, again, we talk about people understanding the governance system. I mean, you win the election, the people that ran behind you, you give them job based on their qualification, based on what they can do. The ones that don't have the qualification, you help build that capacity, because they are also Liberians. They may not be used by you in your government, but if you build that capacity, someone else come to power, they'll also ask them to serve, because now they have the quality in them. The issue is building Liberian people capacity. When I was contesting in Lofa in 2020, I had like young guys around me. They were all excited. So we're sitting once having evening meal together in Sopara Lofa, and we're asking, "Oh, Chief, when you win, I will be this for you." I said, "No, let me tell you something. All of you here are still good for school. I'm not going to take any of you away my office if we win the election." They said, "For why?" Because I want to make sure before I leave power, before my 9 years expire, I want to produce maybe 50 master degree holders that will come back and sell Liberia. Not to come in my office. I will look for people already being qualified to help me run the office more efficiently, to manage and I will send all of you out to go and learn, so that before I leave office, let me say that I've made contribution to bring about 25, 50 students with PhD, maybe 10, 15 with BSc, and that will be the situation. And one of the guys said, "But you're not ready." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "One way in your office." I said, "No, but you just finished high school. You just finished high school. You just finished university. Go and learn." So that I don't want to leave office and you be left behind with nothing. I don't want to leave office. You should be independent and ready to serve the Liberian people on your own. So that is the government should look at building more capacity of people. Other people around here, you can't get a job. All of our technicians, even I here, I didn't support the government, but I have the capacity to serve in the government in some areas. Give me a job. If I don't do it well, you remove me from there. You understand? But the issue of saying your partisans supported you get a job. Okay, if I get support, I'm not a medical doctor. Now you made me head doctor for JFK. How am I going to perform the duty there? And how am I going to provide leadership for the doctors at JFK when I have no idea on being a medical doctor? You understand what I'm saying? The point is, the president must be deliberate and look at people and say, "Look, Jerome, we have won the election. It's not about us, it's about the Liberian people. So we're to find a Liberian that will serve the duty. The duty is, I will hold you accountable for the way you should be doing. Even if you brought all your money from your park coffee farm to support me, I can support you to go buy your coffee farm and make more coffee farm. If you brought your money from selling your cocoa, I will help you go back and do cocoa business in a more better and refined way and create more job for people to work with you. You gotta bring cocoa seller to come in time and say, "Come in the office and be Minister of Agriculture." To be a cocoa seller does not make you a Minister of Agriculture. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the point, and that's where. And most times our leaders make this mistake. They say, "Oh, the person will be all in the water, all in the slum, everywhere. So I gotta find something to do." Get a man a job that he can do based on his qualification. If he got no skill in him, send him out to go to school and learn. When he comes back and prepare, he'll be prepared to serve the country. So that's my advice, or that's my input I can make on that subject.
Well, Sarah, if we live by rules here, nobody. But let's talk about this real quick before. Let's talk about this. I know I wanted to get rid of this. It says that the suicide case is closed. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Justice, has officially closed the death investigation of the former Boulevard Palace Hotel manager, Mr. Anwar Fadlu, following the conclusion of a state order autopsy that confirmed his death is by suicide. This is the manager for Boulevard Hotel. You remember he was killed. Well, he died. They say it was suicide, and most people were saying.
Who performed the autopsy?
Well, they say the government.
The government by whom? Who was the pathologist that performed the autopsy?
In a public statement issued on Wednesday, December 3rd,
the name is there, Mr. Gayman. The person's name is in there.
The ministry disclosed that an autopsy were performed requested after initial reports suggest that Mr. Fadlu may have taken his own life. The autopsy was conducted on January 7, 2025 by state pathologist Dr. Benedict Colley at the St. Moses Funeral Parlor in Somalia Drive.
Can I hold you right there?
Okay.
It was the same state pathologist that conducted the autopsy on, I think, Princess that died that time, and then they said somebody killed her.
Princess Cooper.
Princess Cooper. It was the same state pathologist that performed the autopsy on the auditors. It was the same state pathologist that performed all of the autopsy in Liberia. United Party, when they were in opposition, they did not believe this state pathologist. Why are they closing this? Why are they closing this case now? Because this very state pathologist has, gone ahead and they have found it in the presence of the. Why are they believing him now? You see the hypocrisy?
I understand. Johnny, this is the pathologist that the folks will say, no, we want the government to bring an extra pathologist from abroad. Yes. And they cost the government so much money because every time there was a death, they will make the CDC government bring in a pathologist from either India, Philippines, all over the place. That will cost. In fact, some of them were $300,000-$400,000 to come because they said they did not trust the Liberian pathologist. Now, all of a sudden now, so Sarah has a point there.
Yes, I mean, Sarah is right. Sarah is absolutely right. And I've always thought the same way Sarah is thinking because I've been following the information. And this is where the hypocrisy and the ingenuity, the attitude of being dishonest and deceptive to the Liberian people. Look, not because I want to be senator of Lofa County, I will sit here and make up clear, bold-faced lies against your current senator, who is also a Liberian.
Yes.
I mean, my arguments with anybody who I'm going to be contesting along with in Lofa is the substantial issues, the economy, education, health, those things that people need to improve their living conditions. You know what I'm saying? To have, and again, I'm really hoping that Liberians will keep their ears open this time around and be analytical in response to things around here. I mean, many times doing those things when people are arguing, I don't say, look, man, I don't have patience to discuss with it. Those are men, the string.
Yes.
The string and accredited by international bodies. No international, even during the case of this girl in the Garguah case.
Yeah.
Garguah case with Ali girl. They kept on the mentor. There was no element of any male specimen found in the case. To be frank, I know this man very well. I know that I've been very, very, very well. You understand what I'm saying? And this man stand up to his profession. They may not a partisan for anybody. He work as a professional doctor, as a pathologist. You understand what I'm saying? He work here doing the weird time. They didn't remove him for a position. He stayed there. UP has come. And this man stood his ground. So today, why are they saying that about the death of the lady girl from Garguah house?
Thank you.
Why are they saying that?
So there's one. The other case now is okay, but the one from Garguah is okay.
So the issue is, if we want to push that Liberia forward, we have to be sincere and forget about not greed. Because today I must be in power for the next 6 years. I don't care what happens. I must take power by any means. Whatever it costs me to take power, I will take power because I need to get my own benefit of the national resources or whatever. That's not the way to do it. You see? I mean, campaign vigorously on logic, on standards, on systems that integrity. But again, you see too, the Liberian people don't have time at some point to analyze people's. I mean, there's a time in Morovia. Almost every week they have pictures coming up about people dying in communities. Now I'm asking questions: where are those people that were dying? Where are those bodies? What's happening now?
They were doing it.
I mean, I'm not in support of CDC for matter of fact. is it is about my country. I'm not CDC, I didn't support CDC, I didn't support CDC, but it is about my country. Whatever you're doing today, you think that you're undermining CDC, you are undermining Liberia. That's why even in my statements here, I'm careful what I say because I'm not going to mind because I'm not the one in government to say things that will be untrue of my country. I will say the things that I know that I'm going rare and how we can make it better to improve our country and make it better for our unborn generation. We need to have generational thinkers here as leaders. If we don't have them here, we'll be challenged with tomorrow's future. So clearly, the pathologist is a man that we all rely on. He's here in this country. He's a young man and he had the expertise. And we don't have many of them in the country. But again, the past government had to satisfy the public perception to import other pathologists to come in the country to bring on their own view. And at some point, I heard President Williams was asking people to bring in their own pathologists if you can to come and authenticate what is happening here. If you don't trust the government pathologist, bring your own person. So we are at the point now, they are now telling all that the 3 missing persons, missing boys also, they now die from any malpractice, they got drowned. But
let me welcome Robert Garguah. Before you come on, Honorable Garguah, one of Sarah Dopoh's crushes, Joma Jala is back. Joma Jala is back.
Toma, please say your contribution before you start talking plenty.
Joma Jala and say Garguah, I don't know who gonna take this prize. This beautiful woman. We got it two. I think both of them are from no. I think Jala is from Lofa and Garguah is from Nema. Oh, those are 2 heavyweights. Nema and Lofa. Who's gonna take this beautiful woman? There you go. We're gonna put them in the ring. December 6th is the main day. You will explain tire. And you will go into coma. We will re-elect Joseph Boakai. That's it, Garguah. Robert Garguah, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Great show. Been following.
Yes, let's look at 2 things real quick here. Kudos to the Joseph Boakai government. A few months ago, we were talking about the ratification of the contract for the railroad leaving Guinea. And today it says, Guinea have finally ratified the shipment of minerals through Liberia. Official document confirmed that Guinea gave full approval under its legal and constitutional framework for some mining project to export natural resources through Liberia Railroad and Port. 5 years before today's debate over the current Avanco Atlantic concession and assessment agreement before the national legislature. Guinea's decision to use Liberia Rail and Port for some of its mining projects to export and import isn't new. Is the law in Guinea. Document obtained by the Daily Observer through diplomatic sources show that as far back as at least 2020, Guinea National Assembly, which is its parliament, constitutional court, and president all gave full approval for Guinea mining companies, especially those in Nema Mountain region near Yekepa, to use Liberia's Yekepa to Bikeno Railway and port to move goods in and out of the mines. What's referred to as the Liberian option. This includes all natural resources and was not limited only to iron ore, but anything that comes out of that mine was signed 2020 under the previous administration, George Weah and Dr. Conde. So it was a matter of law, and they are following the law. Your take, Garguah, we are talking about major concession, even though it's not the whole thing, but only the piece that is in Yekepa, and everything else is going to go through Guinea and their new port. But at least we got something out of the deal.
Yeah, but I'm also hearing that there was during the committee's hearing on the status of this deal, the Ministry of Justice contradicted the position of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at the hearing. Just yesterday, I believe.
Yes.
And so I I think I will kind of wait a bit on that to see what the actual rectification is and and what Liberia stands to benefit. Because again, it seems like the Ministry of Justice and the Foreign Affairs, it seems like they are not yet on the same page. Based on what we gathered yesterday.
Yes, and making reference to that, I was able, when we're on this platform, everything is based in fact, and I'm going to pull it up, and this is what it says here. It says ministries of justice, foreign affairs contradict each other on other at special committees hearing on status of the controversial asset agreement. And it says here, the Capitol building, Monrovia, an inquiry into the status of the controversial access agreement between Guinea and Liberia was spearheaded by the House Specialized Committee with two key line ministries of the executive branch of Liberia government providing conflicting account over the very existence, legitimacy, and implementation of the deal. And it says here, at a hearing that lasted for more than 2 hours, the Ministries of Justice and Foreign Affairs provided doubtful account that somewhat exposed institutional disconnect, lack of coordination within the executive branch of government. The ministry's testimony also raised further doubts about whether Guinea has ever acknowledged or ratified the agreement that is supposed to govern cross-border mineral transport, particularly the iron ore. The most telling movement at the hearing came from the Deputy Foreign Minister for Administration at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Gabriel Seleke, who told lawmakers that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had no information on the agreement. We have no idea about the status of this agreement. We didn't participate in this agreement at any level, Seleke opined. His statement prompted disbelief from committee members who pointed out that international agreements are by law transmitted, processed, and often printed through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yeah, it's a bilateral agreement.
Yes.
So I don't want to. Yeah, I think they get the gist. But if it's a bilateral agreement, then it should be led through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So,
and this is why I kind of agree with you, because I check all the newspaper and international wire. This story I just read came from the government-leaning paper, Daily Observer.
Yes. And also I've also spoken.
We know the
some,
people.
I've also spoken to some sources, and I think it's believed that and I stand corrected. It believed that the Justice Ministry kind of got ahead of themselves here on this matter, and it's not a good look on the government. Others have said that this could have been another narrative for the government to take credit for something that has not yet been finalized. Now, if you look, if you look up this deal with the on the side of the Guineans, you don't really see any information on this. And if there was some sort of agreement, yeah, I think this is huge, right? I think you would have heard something from both sides. So I just thought to mention that before you give the government credit, let's make sure that there is a deal to begin with. Based on what I've gathered, I don't think any rectification has been made. If there are rectifications being made to the deal, I believe it's still in progress. I think that the Liberian government request, I think the Guineans have some, they're not on the same page with that. And so I think it's still in progress. But again, I give credit to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I think they were maybe it was a slip up, right? Maybe it was a communication slip up, even if they were unaware of it. Maybe the deputy minister did not intentionally admit to that.
Spill the beans.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe he did not intentionally admit to it. But it's out there. He was very explicit. The foreign ministry has no idea about this deal, according to him. And so, in defense not in defense, but you heard what the folks from the Ministry of Justice says. They begin to say that it's a logistics operation, right? And they have access to capacity, and according to them, they said we're required as per this agreement to allow the movement of products through our rear. The objectives aligns with African mining framework, but again, you cannot have rectification done without the knowledge of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I would definitely. I don't think that's a deal. I don't think any rectification has been made yet on this matter.
Johnny, I tried to get in touch with the Daily Observer, and even the story, nobody wanted to claim it. They only said written by staff, editor, and nobody claimed it. I like to cite the writers and the journalists that wrote the story, but in the Daily Observer, there's no name to it. It just says staff, writer.
Well, but reference is not just a Daily Observer. Reference from Front Page Africa, Emmanuel Conwell.
I know, because everybody else agreed that nothing has happened.
No.
But the Daily Observer is something that happened, but then when I reference them, nobody take credit for the story.
Yeah.
Well, I saw how the story got there.
This style, somebody wrote it. So I think the Republicans, they are very good at getting ahead of the story. Put it out there on Friday night, by Monday time it's dead. Johnny, these people
I think what the United Party is doing.
Yeah, they are not doing themselves any favor. Instead of putting the story out there like they have done in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and say, we got nothing here, we're working on it. These people came out categorically and said the deal is done. But then when you read it, they say, well, who's saying this? And they say, basically, we don't know who said it, but we know it's done. It shows the immaturity or the direct deception.
You seen the day where the Emory Hospital, they're going flying around with all kinds of videos.
Yeah, so did you hear the Ministry of Information making reference to that agreement?
No.
No, so the government had not spoken about that matter. So that newspaper story right there. So I believe that the purpose for which in our governance system we have the Information Ministry, they are the official spokesperson or news outlet from the government policy perspective. So once we've not heard it from Daniel Sando or Jabine Pia to tell us that government has gone through this, that is nothing to follow. So that people is gossiping or doing some people cannot work behind the scene. That's it.
Okay, we got about 15 more minutes here. The civil society group submit new war crime bill as advocates tremble to kill earlier version that will exclude war crimes. Liberia's right group led by the Independent National Commission on Human Rights have introduced a new bill for war crime bill as advocates move to block any earlier version co-sponsored by Senator Joseph Jala and Senate Pro Tem Nyenwolo Kanga. Experts warn that Liberia lacks the law, the public trust to prosecute international crime, arguing only a hybrid court with Liberian and foreign judges can ensure impartiality. Despite President Joseph Waga's pledge of $2 million annual budget, the Office of War and Economic Crime Court has received only $300,000 with future budgets slashed. In a surprise move, a coalition of advocates led by the Independent National Commission on Human Rights on Tuesday submitted a new war crime code bill to the legislature. It came a campaign of intensified efforts to block an earlier version that would exclude so-called international crime, including war crimes and crimes against humanity, from prosecution. These people are sensing that people who took part in a war, stakeholders like Nyenwolo Kanga and other people, are trying to exclude the international part of this court. They want to do it in-house. But the other folks are saying for this thing to carry some credibility, we need to infuse it with other international people to balance it out. Nyenwolo Kanga and the likes are saying no, they want this thing to be strictly Liberian court. This is where we are. And this is why this thing is going nowhere. Johnny, your take, because this is something that you have expertise on, this thing that you were part of. There's a lot of politics going on here.
Yeah, so I think this war crime code issue is important. And since President Barker declared that we should open the war crime code office, I thought by this time we would have, provided support to them to get their feet on the ground to start doing fundamental works, preparatory works in the country, preparing the population. But the war crime code got several fighters. Like I told in one meeting I attended, I suggested that we're going to have a problem because this code is coming 20 years after the war ended. And there have been too much of self-healing, self-reconciliation going on in the community. So to bring a war crime code now, people that you suspect to be, that have committed crimes have been doing some work in the community as philanthropists. Paying poor school fees, hospital bills and things. Now you're going to start having someone suspected or arrested as suspects or defendant. How do we work around the clock to make sure that the population in the country understand the importance and relevance of this code for proper healing as compared to the self-healing that has been taking place? And that requires a whole program that will involve mental health training, psychosocial training, and preparing the population to accept what will be happening and all of those things. That should be the foundational work to be done. While the criminal aspect is ongoing, identifying, identifying the suspects, identifying the evidence, and evidence collection, evidence gathering, evidence preservation, and all that will go on in the process. Then at the same time, identifying the actors in the court, meaning the judges, the prosecutors, the securities. It's a whole big unit. If you compare to what happened in Sierra Leone, it's a whole big, almost around like 100 or 200 persons you have in our system, staff in our system to do that work. You understand? And if we must succeed as a country, we need to be sincere to work with international bodies that will support us, because our own country revenue cannot support our process. We don't have the money to do that to support our process. Because first thing, you need to rehabilitate the prison compound if you want to use South Beach, to keep your suspects there or your defendants there, right? And then second thing, if you want to use temporary justice, you need to improve that place and open new court rooms, and so many things are involved. Again, some lawyers have been arguing that you cannot build a court in Liberia that will be above the Supreme Court, because our constitution says that our Supreme Court is the highest court in the country. So we got to try to work with international community, see how we can build this hybrid court. Whether it will be built in Liberia, and its mandate will be either parallel to the Supreme Court in this country or in below Supreme Court, we don't know. Because if it is below Supreme Court, then you can take a pre-Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? So it's a rare catch-22 issue, but I really think that the thing should have started right after the war ended. It would have put some things in order. In the interim period, we had an interim government. That was when we had an opportunity to do something, put it into order, and get it running before the elections. But now we are at a point where we're going 20 years after the war ended, and we're trying to build a war crime code, and we don't have the resources as a country to do that. We need to go out there to friends, international communities to come to our aid, to provide funding. And it's not going to be a one-day event. I see the code trial will go for more than 5 years or even 10 years. The way in which I think it's this much long to start a case, to collect evidence and prosecute people and try to arrest people from across the country and even from outside foreign countries, it's going to take long. So I think it will even cost more than the amount they spend on the court in Sierra Leone.
Robert, we have this is what concerns me. Our president usually makes these flowery projections, like going to the UN and say, we are going to commit $8 billion to the women's issues in Liberia. $8 billion. And I'm sitting there, I'm scratching my head. I say, the country doesn't have $1 billion budget, have never had $1 billion. How can we commit $8 billion over 5 years to women? Then we started War and Economic Crime Court. He committed $2 million to them. Then put no money there. The budget has no money. So what? I mean, this is baffling. You come up with a flower news. Everybody said at least he started the War and Economic Crime Court. Then he turns right around, and the thing the Republican call starve the beast. You have an agency, you don't want to damage them, you don't want to abolish them, just don't fund them. And it will just be an agency on paper. The War Economic Crackle got no money in the funding, so they just hang it around. They got a few dollars to pay the director, and that's it.
But that's exactly what happened. Of the $2 million that was pledged, flamboyantly too, by the way, he had his chest up making that pledge. And a few months ago, we were on this platform giving credit to this president. And I said, if it's one thing I would give credit to this president when it comes to anything is if he was able to establish the War Economic Crimes Court, because I think his predecessors have not done a good job in achieving that. I think it's important for our country. I think it's important for the protection of our peace. I think it's important for the sustainability of our constitution. That if you want to create chaos and mayhems, there will be consequences for that. And since the civil crisis stopped, we've done nothing. In fact, we rewarded criminals. When these folks should be having a day in court. But of the $2 million, only 300,000 was given to the War Economic Crimes Court committee. And what have they used the $300,000 for? 80% of that money goes to salaries. All right, and this tells you the story of Liberia. And whenever we tell this story, sometimes you get tired telling this story, but something keep pushing us. Every time I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna come on today, man, because the people that we are speaking for, yeah, it is. I tell myself that conscience, I'm not gonna come on today. We talk about the same thing over and over, and it seems like no one is listening, right? But they're paying. This is the story of our country, and so listen, the power that be knows exactly what they are doing. What they are doing here is that they're trying to bring into play this argument of limitation, right? And they understand that international and hybrid international law, as far as crimes against humanity, has no limitation, right? And we all know that this whole process is long overdue. So imagine if this bill went through and we have the law. The law says all crimes should be put forth directly through Liberian court. What do you think? What do you think is the objective here? They are trying to protect themselves. This is the reason why we've always said that criminals, right? These guys cannot be the judge, the jury at the same time. So they're making laws to protect, if not themselves, to protect their friends, because they understand that a lot of them eventually will be held accountable for crimes that they committed, whether directly or indirectly. And so, no, I hope that there are some sensible people who will look at this and who have looked at it and said, listen, this is nonsense. And I give credit to Mr. Gongloe, Attorney Gongloe. He kind of he trashed this, right? They're not trying to protect our sovereignty yet. This is not what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect themselves. They understand what impunity has cost Liberia, and it has cost us a lot. It has cost us a lot. People are committing crimes in the country because they know we have a system that embraces criminals rather than one that punishes criminals. If we were sending messages that we would not tolerate these things, a lot of these things would not happen. This is the reason why the system works in this country. Because if you don't have insurance, you will be held accountable. If you don't register your vehicle, you will be held accountable for that, right? If you commit crimes, I don't care who you are, you will be held accountable for it. We have to create that culture, not just by laws on the books. It has to be a culture. And what we've done so far, with the exception of what's on paper, we've created a culture, right, that says, forget what's on paper, right? We will do it the way the Liberian way. We will handle it the family way. will talk so and say, you know what, okay, I apologize for what I did. Let's keep it moving. I'll take care of your dad, your mom. Let's keep it moving. We have not handled the way that the book demands, and so that's what they're trying to do. But I don't think this is going to work.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, our time has expired. We are still asking you to make contribution towards our young folks in Liberia. We got our Cash App and our Zelle number. Please make some contribution. So this Christmas will be a good Christmas for the young folks down there. Know your families and friends are calling you for help. We understand that. We all go through that. They don't even know the time difference. They'll call you 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning when they are desperate to do anything. So we are all going through that, but just send your contribution to our Cash App. Is $, TCA 2500. If you like to do Zelle, the Zelle number is 678-4383003. Please, this week, we want to make sure that these kids get something in their pocket. What do people say? We want a pot to boil. So the pot should be boiling, hopefully, for this Christmas. Let them buy some food for themselves, take care of their families, give to their mothers. The father, you're on your own. We talk about mamas here. You know, mommies suffer a lot. In a culture like Liberia, where the women are stepped on, domestic violence is still prevalent in Liberia. The culture there, the guys are still beating their girlfriends and their wives. Can you imagine 2025? And they will tell you it's part of our culture. In fact, there was another guy who said, some of the women in Liberia will tell you, if my boyfriend don't beat me, then he doesn't love me. Can you imagine that in 2025, someone is going to say, if you don't abuse me, then you don't. Oh, all my other friend and boyfriend beating and my boyfriend don't beat me. If it is true, for those of you, you're making Johnny look bad, because Johnny is one of those who are saying, please don't take away our culture. Is that part of the culture that we want? We are saying culture is good, but we need to sanitize some of the things that happen in our culture. And this young man was saying here that some of the girls were saying, if you don't beat me, you don't love me. I don't want to believe that, but I know it's happening. We want to change some of these culture. We want to bring some of the. We need to sanitize. Long time ago, we heard we had cannibals in Liberia. People were eating people. Is that part of our culture? Is that what we want to keep? No.
Nope.
What a man need. The General Bodnicki, he said that they were sacrificing babies as part of our culture.
And he's still passing around free.
Do we want?
Well, Mr. Gayman, please, let me come in quickly, Mr. Gayman. Yeah, the attitude of sacrificing babies. I mean, when you say culture, in the simplest form, it means your way of life, right? And your way of life will be a generally accepted norm by society. So there are people who will take a minute part of a deviant part of the culture, and because they let you know, say, "Oh, that's why it is." How many women really in Liberia will tell you, "Like my boyfriend beat me all the time"? How many of them? If you put 10 together, maybe only one will say. Maybe it's that one. You hardly find it being said. Because of 1 or 2 incidents occurring in some community, people take it a wrong way and make it look like what's happening across the whole country. You understand? But look, our Liberian and African culture is a very good civilization. It is a civilization. It is a civilization that has a lot of discipline and training into it, and how to do with upbringing and being able to keep society stable and peaceful. But there are a lot of people in this country now that don't even know what the culture of the Basa people is, but they are Basa. You know what I'm saying? So I told one sociologist who came to do research here, I said, look, not everybody you find in Monrovia here understand the Liberian culture. Some people were born right here in Monrovia, were raised right here in West Point, Rukuta, and Logantown, and Pinsville. They have never experienced the actual typical cultural environment. And if you sit there and interview them, they'll tell you mess, and you'll write mess and take it out there to the public. And that was when even I went to Licious. I met one of my professors. I said, Prof, we need to have a checkpoint in this country on people who come to this country to do research work here. In the sense that when they come to do research work and they get a funding, they must first serve us with it. Let's read it and know what they're going to send out there about the country. Because sometimes they're sending things out to these big international centers, it becomes the wrong information about our country. Because I realized that I started doing research work since 2008 for USRP, for George Washington University, for Yale University, for Oxford, for Columbia University. And I know what we went through to get information from people about how Liberian people see justice and culture and other things. But there are people that come to do research here on a PhD and they don't go into the real people, they get the wrong information from this country. And I believe that our way of life is never bad. It's just some individuals that try to misapply it and misinterpret it to the extent that it makes all the life we don't have a way of life that is acceptable by anybody else in the world. That's my point about this issue.
Listen, let me close. But Johnny, I have to. Can you mute? Yeah, I have to disagree with you vehemently. I have to disagree with you. From my perspective, culture, it's like a general norm, right? That I believe the society finds acceptable, right? And so when bad things happen, very bad things happen consistently in our society, and people get away with it with no repercussion, it becomes a culture. Eventually, people think rape is a culture. Eventually, people think it's okay for grown men to rape, or successful men to rape little girls and go scotch-free. It becomes a culture. I'm telling you, it becomes a culture. Corruption is a culture in our political system. Corruption is a culture. And I'm not just talking from the perspective of
let me break you a little bit, right? Because we don't have nothing to break you right there.
We gotta go.
Rambo, I remember once we had a big conference in Banga. We brought all the chiefs from around. The same issue of gender-based violence. The chiefs and leaders told Liberian leaders there that you guys with the Western style are one are encouraging rape and corruption. They indicated that to the point that even the UN guys said that some of the things that were recommended by the people to address rape and corruption, they said it's a violation of human rights. Because I know for a fact when I was growing up, they call rape in Loma Kizime. And it's a serious violation. You are taught when you go to the Pearl Bush as a man that is violation. You must never play around. And they didn't just say child, they didn't say baby like woman, baby and female, small girl. And no more for that matter of fact. You harass or you do something, that's a serious offense. And they will tell us during the days when they were in charge of the land, a man that is found liable and guilty of rape, that man takes the most gruesome punishment you ever hear about in the world.
Yeah, the problem
So
yes. The problem is the men are not being found liable. That's the problem. But they're committing the crimes. So if I think it's
but now when you say culture, when you say culture, it's trying to link it we're trying to link it most time to our indigenous way of life. That's my problem.
No, well, I'm not just talking about the traditional or indigenous way of life. I'm talking about listen. I think we at some point we've had this conversation where I believe that we are lost. We don't know who we are as a country. Liberian people don't know who they are. They want to take a piece of American. They want to take a piece of Nigerians. They want to take a piece of Ghanaians. They want to take a piece of everyone else, but they have not understood. We don't know who we are. So when we talk about culture, we limit that to just what's happening in the various counties, like in the remotest part of our country, the crew culture, I'm talking about us as a country, who we are as Liberians. What are we identify as, right? What brings us together? Politics aside, what do we agree on? Do we agree that we must treat each other with respect, dignity, and kindness, right? Are we our brother's keeper, right? Politics aside, what brings us together as a country? I have not seen that. I have not seen that. I've seen people come from different tribes and come together to support their counties doing county meet. That's the closest thing I've seen bringing us together. But when I talk about culture, I'm talking about the things that happen that we don't think legally or culturally are acceptable, but no one gets held accountable for those things. If it's not a culture to rape a little girl, it shouldn't just be happening in the bushes. It should be happening in Morovia. In fact, our lawmakers, our government should be setting those standards that the people in the village will follow. So if rape is not right culturally or legally, then why are more young girls being raped and less people are held accountable for those actions? If corruption is not a culture legally and it's not acceptable, why is it that we are rewarding more corrupt politicians than the good people? That's what I'm saying. These are norms that we accept. These are things that we accept that are acceptable. How we speak to our women, right? All of these things are norms. These are things that happen every day in our day-to-day life. We accept them. It becomes who we are. Okay. So, but listen, I think that the government, my fear, Jerome, I'm going to close with this. If the government understands that we don't have the budget for these different things like the war crimes, there's no need to waste $300,000 on folks just sitting in offices and getting paid. That $300,000 can be invested in something else, right? I'm worried for those at the Liberian Tourism Authority. I'm worried that they're not going to get the support that they need. So if we're not ready for these things to happen, if we're not ready to make the necessary investments in these things that will in return create jobs, right? If we're not ready to invest in our country, then why are we wasting money on people just getting paid? I don't just want to sit on a committee and just get paid without doing nothing. So they've wasted $300,000. All of the money that was given, 15% of the $2 million have gone. 95% of that has gone on salaries. What are they doing? The $1.3 million that they included in the 2026 allocations, 80% of that is also projected to go on salaries. So if we're wasting money like that, we can invest that money in education. We can invest that money. The Ghanaian Transportation Ministry announced 2 days ago that they were purchasing 550 buses, to do what? To expand transportation. They made millions of dollars last year. And this year, they're projected to make millions more dollars through transportation. 550 buses that were spent to Liberia, to Ivory Coast, all of the countries nearby. Upscale buses. We are still celebrating the acquiring 35 buses, and many of them that are leaning. I saw a few videos that see the buses that are leaning on the highway. They're saying
use buses, Rabbi, use buses.
But we're still celebrating used buses. And so what I'm saying is we have to get our act together and
I
start
don't know what
acting
Joma Jara
seriously.
then got to say about that.
Countries that are not, they're not smart enough. The ideas are there. And so 300,000, that's a good investment in those kind of businesses that will create jobs and add to our country coffers. Why are we wasting millions, thousands of dollars just on payroll? You're paying people, but they're not doing nothing. So if the government not sure about war crimes court, the war has ended all these years, don't waste money. Reinvest the damn money. That's what we need to do. If we're not serious about investing in the tourism sector, do away with the appointing. I read on the page the last time they're looking for director on marketing. They're looking for human resource manager. They're looking for all these people, right? 85% or 90% of what is given to them will end up going on salary. What are we actually investing in our country? And the more you think about that, the more you look at the future of Liberia to be just one hopeless mess.
Thank you. Well, guys, Sarah, you want to take us home? I know it's time for us to go. Johnny has to go. It's late over there.
Well, it was a great show. A lot of discussions, a lot of very important discussions on very important things that matters to our country, to our people. We come here all the time to say, first of all, I want to say to the rescue mission, they need to get serious about governing. Coming out saying all of these bold things and not doing them is just a waste of the Liberian people time. Okay, and they need, like the IG has admitted, I think the president himself need to admit that they lied to the Liberian people on the previous government about these 3 missing boys. And I know they lie on the previous government about the rest of the other folks that they accuse them of, because they don't have no evidence. They have not opened the case and all of that. You don't come to power through lies. You come to power through integrity. And when you come to power, you show to the Liberian people that you mean business. You don't come there to continue to lie to them. This is wrong. And they need to stop, and they need to admit it and show to the Liberian people that they mean business. Okay? And I want to say to the people of Bassa, your oil, stand for your oil. Do not allow them to come out there and lie to you and say, oh, we got oil, it's going to be doing that. At the end of the day, you don't benefit from it. Don't let them use you. Right before your eyes, you're saying it, stand for it. Get your people together. I don't say I'm going to go for a while, but get your people together. You'll stand for yourself so that you can benefit. That's your right. That's your resources. So that the people of Bassa can benefit. Y'all gotta make some sharp mouth. You don't have to do all that anymore. Y'all gotta speak up. Speak up for your people so that they can hear you and know that you mean business. Thank you, guys.
Sarah, why have the people of Maserati benefited so far from the oil? All the oil blocks.
Maserati ain't got no oil. Johnny.
No, wait. What have the people of Monrovia benefited?
The only oil Maserati got, that's the Ministry of Finance. That they own oil ready to put.
But the headquarters there. So all the oil they've been selling, why have the people like bro benefited so far? So noise, man. Nothing will come out of it. The people will do what they want to do.
So, Mr. Gayman, let me close by and coming to my brother, Rabbi. Rabbi, all that you say here is exactly what your brother Monima just indicated recently. That you keep creating so much bureaucracy that you just keep spending money on recurring expenditure as opposed to spending money on the people. And then I will share a thing with you so you can follow. I mean, he just said exactly what he just said here about. Example, you have the ombudsman. Ombudsmen have been established. What are they doing right now? And clearly, the code of conduct is being violated. You see now, all the party officials are in party uniform, party jersey from government at the party headquarters preparing for the December 6th.
Things that they criticized yesterday
are violating the code of conduct. And then you have the ombudsman committee set up. And then you guys are established and they are not given the opportunity to perform their duty. So why are we spending money on the committee? You understand? We have the war crime code, like you said, war crime school. If you're not ready for war crime school, do not establish war crime school. Tourism sector you establish. You keep opening new. Now you are having a new committee on cyber crime. You keep opening more bureaucrats on the government. You keep creating more wage bill upon the government with small revenue envelope you got. Then when will you serve the brand people with the actual services of education, health, water, and everything else they need to live? So let me say, Mr. Gayman, thank you. And let me appreciate all our listeners and our viewers, both on the radio and in the Facebook page and other social media platform. You are all honored. We respect your view, respect your time. You bring your data to listen to us. So we appreciate you. Let me say thank you. And let's keep the conversation going clean. And we hope that our leaders will listen and they will take you from this conversation. Thank you, Mr. Gayman, and good night.
Thank you, guys. Let's do it tomorrow. The educators will be here tomorrow. Let's come talk some education. And hopefully by next month, we'll have the people from waste management talking trash. We'll be talking trash next month. Thank you, guys. See you tomorrow.
Okay.